Hi guys, hi everyone. Welcome to Merge Intern Dev Colloquium 2020 powered by Foreign Admits. So I am Dheeraj, founder and CEO of Merge Intern. So I welcome you all. So this is day one of the Merge Dev Colloquium Summit. We'll just wait for a few minutes for everyone so that more and more people can join. Okay, I see a lot of hellos. Hello everyone. So I saw a lot of people are asking questions at what this summit is about. So we'll be listening to a lot of globally renowned speakers from Google, Microsoft, Oracle, IBM, and many more global giants, which these companies, which are basically a dream company for every student to be there to take a job at that company, right? So we have invited them all to have an interaction with you. So this is it is going to be there on the whole day, today and tomorrow, 4 to 8 p.m. So I'll just take a few minutes before I begin the session. So, so we'll be starting with a basic introduction of Merge Intern. So many of you already know us, have attended our sessions, have an access to our platform Merge Intern. So many of you are new, coming from different parts of the country. That was very unbelievable to see students from all over the India coming here. So we are really excited to host you. We opened Merge Intern just few months back, and organizing this summit in just 4 months, it's a very big thing for us, right? So अगर कुछ गलती हो जाए तो हमें माफ कर देना. This is our first thing. We want to do best for students. We want to bring best for students, right? So I'll just start with the introduction of Merge Intern and what we do, what problems we solve, what we want to solve, right? So I'll share my screen. So Merge Intern is a platform for student internships through a skill-based assessment. So we are a platform for technical internships. Many of you know. So those who are new to the summit or who are hearing our name for the first time, so we are a platform for student internships. And I'll be talking to you about the platform, what we do, what we want to do, what we plan to do in the journey of Merge Intern to help the student community. I'm just going a bit slow because a lot of students are joining. It takes 1, 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes to get everyone together. So just 2 to 3 minutes, I'll be beginning with the introduction. Just one thing I want to ask, am I audible? Am I audible to everyone? I just need a yes from you all. And also keep on writing about your universities. Which universities are you from? We love to know which part of country are you from? Where are you studying? Just keep on dropping. Yeah. So many students would be joining and introducing themselves. Just connect with each other. So right after the introduction, I'll be giving an introduction to the summit, all the speakers who would be coming today on the day one, and what will they be speaking, and then we'll hand over the session to our guests. So all the questions which you have related to the summit, you can put it on the comment box, and my team will give me those questions, and I'll ask the speakers on your behalf. Try to ask as many as questions you can, But still, if your question remains unanswered, just message to us on the community group. We will try to reach out to speaker and help to solve your query. We'll personally reach out to you. This is our the try from the day one to help students as many as we can. Okay, so I'll start with the introduction of Merge Intern. So like I said, Merge Intern is a platform for student internships, tech internships through a skill-based assessment. So we believe skills matter more than the resumes, right? I'm not denying the importance of resume and or CV. It is really important to present you, but that cannot define your whole future, right? You have to prepare yourself more than that. That thing can help you in one instance, but for the rest of the life, your skills matter and they help you the most. So this is what we want to do here in the Merge Intern. So our platform, when we say it's a skill-based assessment, we help you in getting the internships where you come to our platform, take the assessments, and on the basis of your assessment, companies reach out to you or you reach out to your company, you reach out to the companies. There is no thing as that we ask you to provide your resume, you should be perfecting your resume. No, we put emphasis more on the skills rather than the resume. So the problems we saw. So about myself, beginning with my introduction, I failed 2 startups previously. After that, I was managing angel investments into the tech startups with TAN Advisors, the angel network. There I worked for 1.5 years. So the investor tag was there with me. So I went to a lot of colleges for conducting sessions. A lot of students interacted with me and wanted to get an internships or jobs at the companies in which we have invested. Since I was associated with a lot of companies, a lot of good startups, I met many students. Some say that only students from tier 1 cities or top colleges get the internships, right? Usually people from tier 2 colleges or tier 2, tier 3 cities say that we face problems in getting internships. No, it's not like that. Even a student from a tier 1 college might not be getting internship due to his lack of skill set or maybe any other reason. So everyone is at the same level trying to figure out something for their career, right? So that meeting a lot of students in those sessions, that's when I realized, okay, there is such requirement which will help students in the field of internships, right? So during the pandemic, Akshay and I, Akshay, my co-founder, so we started working on the Merge Intern. So we launched the beta platform last month, and till now 4,000 assessments have been taken. We are beginning the internship process post this event. Companies would be coming on the platform. We were just testing the platform on the skill assessment basis. So we get to know what our shortcomings are and where we can improve. So many students have helped us a lot, those 4,000 students who came onto the platform and took the skill assessments. So this is a problem which I heard from a lot of students, that many a times, so sorry, there's a mistake too. So many a times they do not get a response from the recruiters or the employers, or the response is quite late, which really wastes their time. It is very important for students, let's say from their college, that they have to get internship by this much time, and still sometimes they are not able to get internships from the companies who are coming to the campus. Then they have to run behind other organizations through many online portals or LinkedIn, but there is no response from people. Even if there is a response, you usually get it late. So we believe putting a skill-based assessment will help a company to judge whether this person is suitable for the internship or not, and you as a student would be able to ascertain your skill sets. Okay, if I'm applying for backend, then I must have a basic knowledge of backend. I'm not saying that you should be highly skilled in that, just a basic knowledge which would help a recruiter to understand your viewpoint, that how you are perfect for this job. So this is the biggest problem which I saw in the industry. I won't take the name, but there are many platforms which, in the name of certificates, letter of recommendations, are just selling their courses to the students, right? This is very wrong. This is really wrong. You are taking upskilling, getting upskilled or upskilling courses is not bad, but that is not internship. You are just doing the course. You can even do it on YouTube through some video. Doing the real work, getting the real world work exposure is something which you must or which you should get. Just doing course on Coursera or any other platform saying we have done these internships, no, this is very wrong. Do certificates really matter? Every single day, I get requests, more than dozen of people asking me, would you give us internship? When I say that, okay, I want to know what you are doing, sir, I'm already doing 4 to 5 internships. I said, then how will you spare your time for us with your college, with your 4 to 5 internships? They say, okay, sir, we are doing 1 hour internship with this company. I said, what you are doing? We are just posting the stuff on social media. No, do not run behind certificates. Many organizations might take advantage of that. It would be beneficial for them, but not for you. In the end of the day, you would be having a piece of paper, just a certificate, and believe me, no HR or recruiter is going to see your 10 or 12 of certificate. Only 2 to 3 certificates would matter if they really have that weightage, which shows that you really have learned something, right? This is why I say that certificates matter, but doesn't matter to the extent where you go and collect 10 or 12 certificates for every internship, everything you are doing in the name of internship. So we took our first steps few months back. Like I said, last month we launched our beta version. So like I said in the beginning, we are going to provide tech internships in web development and UI UX. Very soon we'll be starting in artificial intelligence, machine learning, mobile development as well. But currently we are only focusing on web development. So our internship platform is going to be free for all. We won't be charging anything from the students for the internships. So like I said previously, skills over resume. We would help you to work out on ascertaining your skill set, where you get to know where you stand, right? See, you go out on a random platform, fill 10 internships, and you do not get reply from anywhere. Then out of frustration, you just go and join anything, even if it's not according to your interest, right? This is, I believe, really wrong. This is really wrong. If you have certain skill sets which you have been learning during your studies or during your college time, and you really want to pursue internship in that area, and you are not getting, just find the cause, go to the core and look out for the problem, why you are not able to get this, right? This is where you realize, once you do the skill assessment, you will be able to ascertain whether you stand on a good stage at this particular skill set, or you need to prepare yourself more. Who knows, just by giving 1 week more into the preparation, next time when you go and apply for the internship or maybe for the job, you just get it immediately. Okay. So remove the communication barrier between all the companies which would be coming on our platform, right? Like I said, why recruiters do not reply to you or reply very late to you. See, they have to assess or screen a lot of candidates for the companies, on daily basis, right? Many students like you just keep on reaching out to them randomly. It might not be feasible for them to reply or revert to everyone, right? In many cases, if someone applies for internship or job and doesn't get it, he hardly gets any reply from recruiters. So the frustration increases, right? So just to remove that, we are telling the companies on the platform that instead of the CV, first please take a look at the skill set of the candidate. If their skill set is good, CV or resume is just a piece of paper. He has already passed that skill set, so he or she is a good person for the job or internship which he's applying for. This actually, we have interacted with a lot of recruiters. We try to give them the demo of the platform, and they realize that it is really helpful for them to assess the students, where already assessment would be done. They just have to maybe take the telephonic interview or just have to interact with the candidate once. So yes, this removes the communication barrier. So one offering we have is our Merge Intern community. So we also started this community a very short time back, where due to this Merge Dev Colloquium, a lot of students are now joining. A lot of new students are coming up every day. But we'll start the activities post the event, where we'll keep on providing you information on all the mentorship sessions, on all the workshops that we keep on conducting. Every week, we try to reach out to a lot of global speakers and help them in help the students in doing an interaction with them, clearing their doubts. So this is the activities which we keep on doing for the community. So this is something which we are coming up on November 15th next month. So this is the first time we'll be launching it, our upskilling boot camps. These would not be lengthy courses, and this has nothing to do with the internships. These are just separate boot camps. Just those who feel that they need to make themselves stronger on some particular skill sets, they can take these upskilling courses or boot camps. This would hardly take your 1 week or maybe 2 hours a day, right? So where we'll be helping you in getting mentorship sessions from a lot of good global giants or good companies. These boot camps will just finish up your all the course in 1 week, and yes, we'll keep on giving you the live assignments. Yeah. So thank you guys, and welcome to the Merge Dev Colloquium 2020. So let me give you information about our first speaker, who would be joining us in just 5 to 7 minutes. His name is Siddhant Agarwal. Siddhant is DevRel at Google Developers. He is a globally renowned speaker. Those who have been taking part in the GDG Fest know him, that students have really a craze to hear what Siddhant has to say. So Siddhant today will be taking session on communities and how it is an integral part in students' career. So many students here are already a part of a lot of communities, even our community or many communities previously. But many those who don't know, right? Community is a very old word, but when we relate it with the student, there are many student communities which are going around in the world, in the India, where students are coming together, and mentors are there. People from the industry experts are there and helping the students in shaping their career, in guiding in their career process. So this is what Siddhant will be putting light on. So I'll just take a break for 3 to 4 minutes. We'll bring the Siddhant. Meanwhile, just keep on filling the comment box. Right, we are seeing what you are writing, and we are very excited about that. See you in 5 minutes, guys. And Siddhant would be here taking up the session. Thank you. So many a students, meanwhile Siddhant is coming, many a students have been asking a question. Yeah, it is really nice to talk to you, interact with you guys as well, though it's not face to face, but would love to do that sometime. So someone was asking, what kind of projects should we make? Projects as in, because many internships on, I won't take the company's name, our competitor's name. I won't say any company is good or any company is bad. It's just that we are not a listing platform. We are not just focusing on listing a lot of internships and not helping students. Here we put ourselves in between the companies and the student, where we can help both the sides in getting into in making a right match. What types of skills are required for internships, Anurag? Anurag, first it depends what internship that you want to pursue, what career that you want to make in which stream, right? If you want to go in the back end, then you must learn skill sets according to that, right? If you want to go into the digital marketing, then you cannot learn skills of the, obviously you can, but skills for back end would not be required, right? So according to your interest, just find out the skill sets and look out for the people for that, or maybe the platforms which can help you in that. But in Merge Intern, we'll be helping you out with the web development technologies and UI UX internships. Yeah. KS Aravind. Okay, you are asking some. KS Aravind asks, what kind of projects should we make, and is there any time limit? I'm just doing engineering second year. No, there's no time limit for that. It's not that something that you should do in rush. Okay, but I believe as early as you started, it is really a good time. Anything, any good time to start something is today, now. Okay. Yeah, someone just said look down at the description which is going on the screen. So meanwhile, during the sessions are going on, you can go out on Twitter, on LinkedIn, can put a good message, a very interactive message, an innovative message about the Merge Dev Colloquium, and tag your friends. Most engaging posts would be getting selected from us. Okay, and we'll be announcing the winners by tomorrow, by the end of the summit. Okay, which programming language is dominating in the web development? If I take just one name, that would be unfair, right? And so you cannot choose. I mean, yes, you can say that what is trending. People want to make career in that. Okay, if artificial intelligence is trending, first you have to see, does this suits according to the skill sets you have, or if you have interest, would you be learning it, right? Would you be pursuing it as a full-time career or just for a hobby, right? Okay, can I get the internship in 6 7? What level of machine learning do I need to learn for that? So all the many questions related to the technologies, and the Himanshu have asked this machine learning level question. So we have a speaker coming up tomorrow. There's one speaker who will be talking on artificial intelligence today, and one speaker particularly on the machine learning, Priyanka. She will be speaking up tomorrow. So you must attend their session, Himanshu, to know it all, right? How to get an internship via LinkedIn. Okay, so we have opened a platform, and I'll be telling you how to get an internship via other platform. No, no, I'm just kidding. You can get internship from anywhere and any place you want. It's just that, see, I was telling you that Siddhant will be talking on communities. What is the role of communities in student life? You get to interact with people. You get to know what opportunities are there, what technologies or what skill sets other students are working. These students in the communities might be from different part of the country or different colleges, right? So you must broaden your horizon to understand your view, to understand what's going out there, right? This is the importance of community, right? I'm not from the engineering background, so I'm more of the from the finance background. But in my startup, when I entered into the startup industry, I learned a lot of things, learned the technologies, learned to way around in the sales. Sometimes I even cook food for my team, so I can say head chef of my team. And just right before the Siddhant session, in 1 minute, guys, I want to share a little experience talking about the communities. The whole organization Merge Intern has been made through the community. My co-founder Akshay, I met him randomly during the lockdown on some community where we interacted that, okay, I said that I'm working on this problem and I want to open this platform. And he said, okay, I have something in my mind like that, so let's work it out. So this is the power of community. We got a lot of our teammates, our employees and interns from the communities as well, right before opening the platform. So Merge, I have already told, it's a platform for student internships through a skill-based assessment. What are the steps for joining community, Haneen? Community link is there on the Merge Dev Call website, mergeintern.com/devcall. You go there and you can get the link, or our team would be putting up links on the comment box as well. What does companies consider most important in? Okay, many questions are coming. Guys, we are noting down your questions. There are many questions coming up. Just keep on putting that. Uh, Meanwhile, Siddhant is here. So I think this is time for their session. You should hear them. Many of your doubts will be cleared. So our star of the day, our speaker number one, Siddhant Agarwal, is here. Hi, Siddhant.
Hey Dheeraj, how are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the Merge Dev Colloquium 2020. So, Siddhant is working with Google as a DevRel. Siddhant has been a speaker in a lot of global summits. Like I said, many people who keep on attending GDG Fest already know Siddhant, that he has been giving talks in India and outside the India. And students really have a craze for that. Even our on team, when they got to know 15, 20 days back that Siddhant is coming, they really got excited. So
Awesome.
welcome Siddhant once again.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Dheeraj. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So I'll just hand over the place to you. And after your session, that there will be Q and A. We'll be taking up the questions from the comment box, and I'll be asking on the behalf of students. Okay, Siddhant, here to you.
Awesome. I'll just quickly share my screen. If you can allow that, that would be super great. I hope you folks can see my screen. One second. Sorry about that. And okay, just one second. I'm just getting things ready. Oops, some issue again. Let me just share the screen again. All right. I think my screen is visible now. Yes, perfect. Great. Cool. So before I begin, allow me to take a moment to talk about the current COVID-19 pandemic, which has caused extreme amount of panic and suffering to the entire world. The world is experiencing things it has never seen before. This is for the first time we are seeing something like in the history of humankind. Globally, we have seen cities and countries went under lockdown to contain the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. But I would like to say this: we are all in this together, and this too shall pass. And I urge all of you to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay indoors until this pandemic gets over. And with this, let me welcome you all to this talk on communities, an integral part in students' career. Uh, my name is Siddhant. I'm program coordinator for developer relations team at Google in India. Uh, that's my Twitter handle at the rate Sedagarwal04 if you would like to get connected. Um, in this talk, I'm going to talk about like how communities help create an impact in students' life and shape their careers going forward. Before I move forward, I'll just like give a quick introduction about myself. This is in a brief about like how my education has been and how my professional journey got started. So I did my undergraduation from University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Dehradun, for sorry, computer science engineering. Started a campus company, but didn't work out well, and then joined IBM immediately after my graduation. Uh, Worked there for like a year and a half or 2 years, kind of thing. Joined a company called Be Ahead. Uh, there, I was working for almost like 2 years, and then uh, it's gonna be 2 years now, about to be 2 years now when I joined Google. While there have been like a lot of ups and downs in my personal and professional life, but one thing that has remained constant is communities. I've been part of various communities. If, as you can all see, like starting from a college days, I've been like contributing to the communities via Google Student Ambassador Program. Then there is like I became a GSA from my university. I joined Google GTG New Delhi as a core team member. Later on, started GTG Cloud New Delhi in 2018. Since 2016, I've been part of Head Start Network Foundation. It's India's largest grassroots level organization that helps entrepreneurs and startups, early stage entrepreneurs and startups. Have been Intel Software Innovator, also Atal Mentor of Change, Atal Innovation Mission Mentor of Change. So with this like introduction about myself, I hope you would have got a fair idea like my area of interest, which is technology. I'm like very close to technology, community building, something that inspires me and gives me a lot of passion. Design thinking, I'm a design thinker at heart. I have been doing design sprints from a long time. Also have been like instrumental in leading and like coming up with the strategy for edtech initiatives. That's what also the intersection between technology and education, that's what excites me. Building for next billion users, and of course startup ecosystem really excites me. I've been a public speaker. I've spoken at more than like what 200, 300 national international forums, impacted lives of more than like 3,000, 30,000 individuals, students, developers. So yeah, now talking about like what we do at Google, we enable and empower the vibrant Indian developer ecosystem to build impactful solutions using Google technologies that can change the lives of next billion users. And that's what inspires me, and that's why the team that I work with, I'm really close to what I'm doing right now. um, we engage in various programs, like if you might have heard of GDG, developer student clubs, experts, Google for Startups Accelerator, Women Tech Makers program. So these are the programs that we engage with, and these programs are really amazing programs. If you don't know or haven't heard about any of these programs, I'll just give a quick 1 minute intro about like all of these programs. GDG, starting with GDG. GDGs are Google developer groups. So these are community-led groups of developers who are interested in Google's developer technologies. Like they conduct in-person meetups, they do talks, workshops. I'm talking about like pre-COVID times. Of course, the times have changed and everything is moved to a virtual world. But yeah, in the pre-COVID times, they used to do these in-person meetups. I used to like really love going to these GDG meetups, talk to various developers out there. It widens the perspective, and I get to learn a lot. The various technology they talk about, amazing concepts they bring in, code sprints, hackathons. So that's something like really amazing. We have like 51 GDGs in India in 38 cities, and if I talk about like across the globe, there are more than 1,000 plus GDG chapters. Talking about Women Tech Makers program, it's similar to GDG and work hand in hand with GDG, but it's just like we want to give more visibility, a platform, a community, and resources for women in technology across all career levels. It's like it's open to everyone. It's not restricted to anyone, and that's why we came up with this program, Women Tech Makers program. And in India, we have 58 Women Tech Makers ambassadors. So that's a really big achievement. Talking about Google for Startups Accelerator program, this is a startup, like you might have heard of Launchpad program, like by chance. That's the program, Google for Startups Accelerator program. It was earlier called as Launchpad program. It helps the startups already out there in the industry to further build and scale their products, and we connect them to the best of Google. That is its people, its network, its thought leadership, and technology. When we started a Launchpad Accelerator program or Google for Startups Accelerator program, we did now 3 cohorts. We have reached out to many startups, and a lot of mentors mentor these startups, spend their time with these startups. Next is Google Developer Experts Program. It's a global network of highly experienced technology influencers. Think of it like you are a working professional. You have a tech expertise in a certain Google technology, um, but at the same time, you have been contributing to the community a lot, like with talks, with blogs, with workshops, with your video contents and stuff. And that's where we recognize these individuals. We have 57 GDEs in India, like really amazing folks. These are independent volunteers. They do not work at Google nor for Google in any capacity. As part of my role in Google, I have been leading this Google Experts program, GD program, since I started working at Google. I'm also taking care of developer student clubs program. These are university-based community groups for students that are interested in Google's developer technology. The aim for DST program is to like bridge the gap between theory and practice, and at the same time encourage students, not just the DSC leads, but also students on the campus to build innovative solutions that impact the lives of people around them in the local in the locality in the region. We have 275 DSC campuses in India in like 120 plus cities. Unfortunately, the applications for this year are already closed. We have selected the batch for 2020 and 2021. But we'll soon be opening up applications for the next batch, 2021 and 2022. Head over to developers.google.com and you can find more details over there as and when we open up. And like to stay updated, you can always follow at the red Google Devs IN. That's the Twitter handle we have for all the updates related to Google and Google's developer relations programs. So GDE and Developer Student Clubs is the program that I'm taking care of, and also I'm taking care of TensorFlow user groups in India. These are again the community groups that helps machine learning developers and experts learn more about TensorFlow and machine learning. Now, moving on to the part about communities, how communities help students. I have five broad areas to talk about. First, to talk about um, mentorship, how communities help in like mentoring people through their learning journeys. And throughout the session, I'll be talking about more about like stories, and then I'll like I will make you meet a lot of people. So this is going to be exciting, I'm sure. So let's meet Hastu. So Hastu was part of DSC in Indonesia. She decided to join a DSC workshop to learn more about Android. She attended a workshop. It was led by DSC lead Tessia. So Hastu was just an attendee, and Tessia was the DSC lead. Tessia mentored Hastu during her Android journey. So Tessia conducted these Android study jams and mentored Hastu during her Android journey. And Hastu joined the project team, created her first app to help blind students. You must be thinking that, hey, that's good. Like someone is conducting some workshop, someone joined a team and creating an app to help blind students. Really interesting, great. But what's next? So Tessia shared the story with us, and Hastu went to Google I/O and shared her developer journey with Sundar, CEO of Google. She also joined Erika on stage. Erika is global program lead for DSC program at the GDG summit. Both Erika and Hastu talked about Hastu's journey, and Hastu shared her story with over 500 people. Um, but Hastu thought that she might not be able uh, to, to be a developer because she is hearing impaired. But she took on the challenge, learned, and built a project, pushed herself, and shared a story with others. I'm happy you have met Hastu, an awesome and inspiring developer. That's the Hastu that I wanted you to meet. DSC gives a platform to succeed. What do we learn out of the story? There are three things like Hastu, willingness to solve something outside of her world. We see so many problems and challenges around us, but do we care? Hastu is also a leader of change. We should celebrate the lead, how she mentored, how this community gave her the platform for them to give to come together and give a platform to do this. Everyone has a role to play over here, and they might not be the face of the stories, but they have to be the story makers. Tessia gave us to the platform to grow as a developer. So this is a story is also about Tessia. She cared, and together they cared about solving local problems in the community. And that's where the community also cares. That's the first thing, how mentorship helps in shaping up one's career and through the learning journey. Next, I would like to talk about like how communities empower future leaders and speakers. Let's meet Fahad. So Fahad lacked community spirits. So when we were talking to Fahad, Fahad said that the community spirit in his university before the DSC program used to lack, and that's where he brought in DSC to the campus. He introduced the program to their fellow classmates and gave a new approach towards leadership. He came up with like positive ideas. He started like new initiatives. He empowered a core team member and the other community members with leadership opportunities, and as a result, like it became an example to all the student groups on the campus. Let's meet another person, Shreyans. So Shreyans helped in empowering others with tech, whether it's about visiting rural schools to introduce tech to underprivileged students or building an app to reduce the paper wastage in college events. Shreyans was from DSC VIT Andhra Pradesh, and he strived to solve problems with the power of tech. So next, I would like to talk about like how collaboration makes an impact together. This is this is one of the biggest student-led event that I have ever seen, where many DSCs collaborated together to host event. They did this massive collaboration called as DSC OMG. They came all together during pandemic. I think this was before pandemic, not during pandemic. Sorry, my bad. But they all came together to do this DSC OMG, and what a phenomenal result it was. So DSCs or the communities help in collaboration. I'm trying to quote the examples in the DSC program because that's what it's really close to me. But these learnings apply everywhere. Next, I would like to talk about like how communities help in building solutions that make an impact. So let's meet Samarth. This is one of my favorite story. So Samarth and his core team, Samarth was DSC lead, the ex DSC lead from DSC VIT. He built a platform for Vellore Police. For those of you who don't know Vellore, it's a place in Tamil Nadu. And what does the platform do? It helps secure elections in over 10 districts that resulted in. So they built a platform. It helped secure 10 elections in over 10 districts. That's amazing, super amazing job they did, and kudos to them. But it also resulted in inspiring for professors in the university to learn Flutter from DSCVIT. Think of it, professors learning from the students. Like we always say, there's no age of learning, and we should never like think about like whom we are learning from. So really inspiring to see that professors were learning from the DSCVIT. Let's meet Kevin. So Kevin transformed DSC Sastra into a family. So he stepped into DSC as an Android dev. He formed a team from scratch. He helped students to get started on technology. He inspired a lot of juniors, and now DSC Sastra is like a family to him. He conducted lots of events. He collaborated together with multiple chapters on his campus, other chapters on the campus, and then they did phenomenally good in last year. Let's meet Shubham. So Shivam built an application to help his campus. So how it was helping? So he built an application that could cut the queues and make the life simpler for everyone in the campus. Like simple solution, but really impactful. And that was the first platform to be officially approved by HIT. HIT is the institute where Shivam used to study, and that's where you build the communities help you build solutions to make an impact. Let's meet another person, Praveen. I've been mentoring Praveen. Praveen is one of the winners of DSC Solution Challenge. For those of you who don't know what is Solution Challenge, DSC Solution Challenge, it's an annual contest that invites students from DSC communities to develop solutions for local community problems using one or more Google products or platforms. Um, we shortlisted 10 winning teams from around the world. When after they went through lot of scrutiny, they went through a review process, and we ended up selecting 10 winning teams. And Praveen and his solution was one of them. The best part is Praveen was the only one in his team. They were like among the rest 9 projects that got that won this DSC Solution Challenge. Everyone had a like like other team members, but Praveen was a solo person. So he built this Android application called MeCam. He has also changed the name of the application now. What does the app do? It holds all the info students from his campus need, like calendar with upcoming campus events, student profiles, um, a used book marketplace, or like hostel management, online food ordering, and more. So he wanted to make like a one-stop solution for anything and everything that one needs on campus. It could be used in COVID times, it could be used after COVID, even before COVID it used to be. He already implemented this as in his campus. Um, Now, he how communities helped. Praveen was never a DSC lead. Praveen was just a DSC community member. Uh, his college helped, like the DSC lead helped him. So he needed to speed up his development. So he applied his new knowledge of Flutter to finish this application. That's how communities help you learn new technologies as well. And the last thing that I would like to talk about is you build impact, you have collaborated, you have gone through like with this transformation as a future leader. But thing which is very crucial is share your stories to inspire others. And that's where I would like you all to meet Kautuk. Kautuk was a DSC lead from DSC BVP, and he said that communities had shaped him. He started exploring various stacks. He got an internship. He was able to, like, he's currently finding full-time role. I think he has already found it. So communities has really shaped him to be a better human, how to be intellectual, how to grow as a leader, and how to collaborate. Those skills you get when you're part of the communities. Next, I would like you to meet Rahul. Rahul was the DSC lead from SRM University, Chennai. And Rahul says there are 3 P's to success: passion, know what you're interested in, and do it because you love doing it. Do not follow the herd. Life is not a race. There's plenty of time to figure out where your passion lies. Second P, Rahul talks about like what leads you to success is purpose. Make sure whatever you do has a purpose to it. You should know what is the underlying problem that you're trying to solve. This has always been a quality that his team members possessed. And the third thing is personal brand. Alongside, make sure you have some qualities, work that set you apart from the audience. This can be in the form of technical or non-technical stuff. Uh, right now, he is software engineer at Creo.do. It's an tech startup founded by an ex-Googler and funded by Vinny Bansal. That's the journey of Rahul and Kautuk. I'll also like you to meet Chanchal. Chanchal was DSC lead from Vishwakarma University, DSC GGITS. Sorry, not Vishwakarma University, DSC GGITS. Um, how DSC had created an impact on her career. She got multiple job offers from various large tech companies, including Google, Cisco. Was given opportunities to attend various tech summits, including TensorFlow Dev Summit. Um, 10 plus teams got selected for national level hackathons, and she was part of them, those 10 teams. So when I shared these journeys of various leads, individuals from like various parts of the country, What I want to tell you all is, uh, it's not that you need to hold a certain responsibility to make your career. You can do it at any point of time, but all you need is the courage to try. Figure out that crazy, ambitious, ridiculous goal that you want to chase. Chase all in. You have to put in a lot of efforts to get to that goal, but ultimately the success will be yours. It's always said, like, to bring about that change, one must not afraid to take that first step. We will fail when we fail to try. So I will leave you to this thought, and I will ask you, like, what's your moonshot? What if this talk really inspired you, motivated you, and you're determined to do something? Pick up a challenge. Pick up a challenge that you would like to chase. Find out, like, I'm not saying there are problems all around us, but there are a lot of areas which need innovative solutions, innovative scalable solutions to be developed. So what's your moonshot? We are here to help you, but before that, all you need is to find your moonshot. If you're looking for more inspiration, I can suggest 17 areas that you can start. These are 17 goals to transform our world, given by United Nations, called as Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable Development Goals is something that each nation of the world is changing these days to, like, achieve all 17 of them. Sorry, not 16, all 17 of them. These 17 sustainable goals, think of them like the areas which would need more improvement, which will need more innovative solutions. So think about it, like, go dive into, pick in one theme, pick in one area, one goal, and dive into it. Find out what you can do, what, using the power of technology, what you can build, what solution you can make that will impact a lot of lives. And while you're doing that, like, keep exploring, keep dreaming, keep discovering, and keep accelerating. Um, with this, I'll leave you to list one last thought, which is, never doubt a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens. I'll emphasize on the word, two words, which is thoughtful and committed. That can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. So that's it from my side. Thank you, folks, for joining me for this session. I just wanted to keep it a bit short so that we can have, like, good enough time for Q&A. And thank you so much for having me over here. I will request Dheeraj to, like, come back, and, like, we can go into the Q&A section. If you
So yeah,
queries, we can take up now, and feel free to get connected with me on Twitter. That's my Twitter handle, @Agarwal04. Feel free to get connected.
okay. So thank you, Siddhant, for the wonderful session. So now a lot of questions are there. So one of the student, Mahesh Pawan, has asked, I have heard that Google provides internship if we mail the HR or are recommended by the Googler. Can you please tell me how we can gather that information?
Yeah, so, like, Google believes in transparency, and whatever we do it very transparently. So, whenever there are informations about internships or placements, they get uploaded on careers website, careers.google.com. That's a one-stop solution for anything and everything you need to know about placements, internship. Unfortunately, I don't have much information about internships and placements, like, full-time opportunities at Google, because I'm not part of that team. But what I can say is, like, go to careers.google.com and you can find information over there. Recommendations, it's okay, it's good, but it's not the ultimate thing. Ultimate thing is, what do you have in you that make you stand out of rest of the folks that are applying? Think of it. And yesterday I was talking to a bunch of students from another university, and the same thing I was telling to them, be it you're from tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, or tier 4 institute, or from tier 3, tier 4 city also. uh, there are, like, lakhs of students graduating every year, lakhs of students applying for internships. There are, like, tons of universities in India. If think of it, even if 50,000 students apply for one internship at Google, Google doesn't has the capability to, like, accommodate all 50,000. They will have
Right.
just, like, 6, 4, 5, or 10. 10, say, like, 10 is also, like, a big number. I'm saying they'll not have that much of, like, openings for that internship. For those
Okay.
10, they would need to shortlist like at least 50 resumes to be interviewed. 50 people is, again, I'm talking about like a big number to be interviewed. For 50 interviews to happen, they need to have at least like 200, 300 resumes to be shortlisted after level one of filtering, which means like you have to come to that level of 200, 300 resumes from those 50,000 students applying. Think of the gap that is there. So what will make your resume stand out is not what you put in to the resume, but also what you do um, outside your academic schedule, your projects, your portfolio that you build, your open source contributions. Academic projects are good, but go beyond the academic projects. Come up with something of your own.
Okay. Okay, so a lot of students that have been asking, I think, must have their question answered. That you must work on your skill set. Then you can go and apply for the opportunities. Opportunities are there in many companies, but as per Google, selection process is quite tough, right? So first, focus on your skill sets. It's not about which programming language is best. Yes, you can see that which this particular company is working on. Then you, if you really want a place in that company, you can work your way around, right, and can upskill yourself in that area. Okay, so Siddharth, a lot of people have been asking how to join with Google DSC. This question has been asked a number of times.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this in the start itself. The applications for 2020 and 2021 batch are closed now. Not accepting any more applications. The batch has already been selected. But we will be opening our applications for 2021 and 22 batch sometime in, I think, April, May. I don't have the exact timelines. Again, it's still work in progress. But keep a check on developers.google.com/community programs/DSC. That's where you will get to know if you want to get like follow on, like regular updates. Follow us on Twitter that is at the red Google DevZion.
Okay, and a lot of students here want to bring DSC community to their institution, to their area, or maybe their city. So, what's the process for that? And yeah, please.
So the process is simple. It's totally unbiased on that front. I know like a lot of folks have um, that like interest to bring the university like DSC to the university, but the process remains same for everyone. One has to apply. The application goes through like a review process, and then there's an interview round. You have to like score well in the interview based on a cumulative score of your application and your interview. That's where you get shortlisted as a DSC lead. And
Okay.
anyone can apply who is an undergrad student can apply.
Okay. So a lot of students that I think confusing this thing with that getting into DSC would get you an internship or a job at Google. No, it's not like that. It's actually starts from how you prepare yourself for your career. Opportunities are already there. You have to first prepare yourself, right? You don't have to run behind what's going in the market. What are the terminologies which are very popular? Like many students fall behind these words AI/ML, or many of the startups in our industry. This AI/ML is there and run behind that. No, what's the core of that thing that you want to learn? You want to make a career in, right? You might be taking up course and learning artificial intelligence in just 3 months. It's just a 3 month thing, but still, are you really interested in pursuing the career? Are you really interested in solving the problem? This is what that matters the most.
Exactly.
Uh, yeah, someone has asked, can being from a tier three college ruin my chances of getting a decent job? No, it's not like that. I was from tier three college. Basically I'm from a non-technical background. I did BCom and I got 43%. Still, I got a job at Genpact India at a very good level. I started my uh, job
Uh,
in Genpact. My
Same
first
thing.
job.
Same thing. If folks can like just rewind back to the start of the talk. I talked about like my university. I never graduated from IIT or NIT. I've never studied there. Although like everyone's dream is to be an IITN or like study from an NIT or from like top 10 institutes of India. I studied from a private university. It comes in, I think, top 100 institutes of India. Take it as like top, like tier 2 or tier 3 institute rather. Studying from Dehradun, a city which doesn't have access to technology. Like you, yes, living in Delhi, like my hometown is Delhi. Like I'll feel folks from Delhi are much more privileged because they have like a lot of connects. They can easily get to the like technological universities, and also like tech industry. But if I had considered the same thing, that hey, I'm deprived of these resources, what will I do? That will be the end of it. I will not think beyond it. I will not, you never think about getting out of my comfort zone, go beyond what has been already taught. And like, I'm not saying like Google is the end, but yes, like I found my way out, and then I'm here at Google. But it's not the end, it's not the ultimate thing. And one thinks about like, hey, Google is the ultimate thing, but no, it's not the ultimate thing. Find out where your passion lies. I'm here because whatever I'm doing, I'm passionate about it. I love communities. I love talking to students, developers. I love coming up with like programs and like coming up with innovative strategies that helps developers learn new skills. So I'm here. I'm enjoying it. That's why I'm here. Even in my previous role before Google, I've been doing a similar task, and I still love my job. It's just that I just like wanted to take a plunge somewhere else, so I just moved here. So think from what is your passion, as you said. Like it's not about like you are getting job at Google or you're getting internship at Google or not. It's not about that. Find out where your passion lies. You can be in any company and you can still do wonders even if you are not at Google. It's just about your passion and your skill set that matters.
Okay. Well, that's really good. So many a student, Siddhant, even one of a person from my team who is just interning with us is quite nervous about his future, that he's in last year and sitting in placements, and he's very worried about getting a job in the global giants, that he is leaving out the opportunities and all the decent companies which are coming to him, and out of nervousness here he is taking wrong decisions. We have interacted. So this I want to tell all students, see some XYZ companies your dream, right? If you do not get it in first chance, please do not feel bad or frustrated, okay? Just start building your career process. You can also build your career by working in a small startup, by learning things. And see, Siddhant didn't go to Google on the first instance. He started his career with a lot of companies, and ultimately Google name is with him, right? So this is how you build your profile. Keep on, getting up the steps. Okay, Siddhant, someone has asked. There is a DSC community in my college. I have applied for the lead but got rejected. I don't think anyone have applied for the position too. So what will happen to my college DSC?
Okay. Yeah, if there's a DSC on your campus, of course there will be a DSC lead. But if you applied but there's no DSC in your campus, there's no one else that applied, it's like highly possible that you have not met the criteria that we are looking forward to as a DSC lead. And that's where like for us, for like it's not a criteria that we need to mandatorily have at least one lead from the campus that the student is applying from. So let's say we get we get 10 applications, and it's not like a case that hey, you have applied, you are the only one that you applied from that university, so we should select you. It doesn't work that way. For us, the quality of leads matter the most. If you have the skills, if you have those traits as a leader, DSC lead, that's where we will select you. And also we look forward to your technical skills and your contribution that you have done on campus. So a cumulative of all of that is what we look for in a lead, and that's where we select someone. It doesn't work that way that hey, I've applied, I was the only one, but you selected no one. I'm really sorry, but yeah, we are like totally unbiased on that front. If you have the capabilities, you will be there. If not, I suggest like work on those lacking shortcomings, and I'm sure like there's like more to it. Uh, when there is like you mentioned about like uh, it's like you can even do wonders in startup, not like aiming for Google and other companies is good. I have the same mindset. Like when I was being interviewed for Google, I had zero expectations that it will get converted. Even like when I was like told that, hey, yeah, we are confirming you, I was like, is this for like for real? Because I never expected. If I had kept an expectation, then I said I get rejected. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever it is, I'll just move on to my journey. I'll not stop over there. I have faced a lot of rejections in my life, and many faces a lot of rejections in their life. But if we keep holding to those rejections and not move forward with their journey, it doesn't work that way. So keep doing. There's good in everything wrong that happens. There's a learning in every failure. So take those learnings and then move forward with those learnings.
Yeah, this is really good, Siddhant. I think, guys, from more questions. You are asking more questions about the programming languages. That will be that those answers will be given in the sessions ahead, where the speakers from the particular field will be helping you. Someone has asked. I am sure if you can just try to answer. What is the most expected programming languages to get into FANG companies?
So my answer to this is like I'll not talk about programming languages. I'll talk about the core concepts behind the
Yeah.
programming languages, which is your data structures, your algorithm. That is the core. Be like you go to any company, any startup out there, they will ask you this question. Yeah, this thing will never leave you. Data structures and algorithm. If you're making your life, your career in as a programmer, you pick up any language, any programming language, be it your Python, be it your Java, C, C++, Kotlin, whatever your language you pick up. Data structures and algorithms will not leave your life. They will be there for you till eternity until you'll decide to leave programming world itself. So they will be with you. So don't get away from them. Pick up whatever you want. I don't discourage any programming language. Every language has their own purpose to fulfill and their own utility. But pick in whatever you want. Just focus on the core concepts of computer science, which is your data structures, algorithms, uh, and like uh, other things that you need as a core principles of computer science.
Okay, so Siddhant, just before winding up the session, what we'll do is I just request you to. Sorry, we can't speak Turkish. We're really sorry. Someone just asked to speak Turkish. Siddhant, dates to apply for the DSEs. Okay, and process again. Just some links that we can provide to students, right? That if they want to bring DSE to their college, or if they want to be a part of it, if someone wants to be a lead, right? Just the links where they can go and have a knowledge about that.
Okay, sure. So while you're saying this, I'll just pull out those links.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So first is like if you want to join DSC, the link I have shared over here, and Adil can then further share it. You can keep a look on this page. It will also give you a lot of information about DSC solution challenge, DSC program, getting connected with DSC chapters also, attending the DSC events. That's one way to get in touch. Also follow this Twitter handle at the red Google Dev Zion. That's a place where we regularly post updates on what's happening in the world of developer ecosystem. Also with updates on Google initiatives and stuff. So follow this handle. Unfortunately, we are not present on Facebook or LinkedIn. Our regional team is only on Twitter. So follow this handle and you will get like updates as and when it gets posted. So keep a watch on this. Uh, and yeah, that's it. And if you would like to get connected with me, that's my Twitter handle. I also try to like reshare, repost those things whenever I have time. Uh, but more or less, Google Devs will give you all the information that one needs for DSC, GDG. WTM, GDE, GFSA, anything and everything.
So, guys, I have shared the link. All that you have asked for is there, and even Siddhant's profile is there. You can connect with Siddhant. Please do not spam. You can always ask the questions on comments, and as per convenience, Siddhant can reply. And I hope this session has been really helpful to you all. A lot of questions were answered. There are still many questions on how a non-technical guy can attend. Siddhant, just winding up the session. If you want to take this up, this one person has been asking again and again that as a non-technical person, if they want to get into DSC or they want to get a job at Google, I mean, just in a short way.
Yeah. One thing is, it's okay if you are a non-technical person. The work that I do doesn't involve tech. Like, it of course involve tech is all everywhere, but I don't do programming as part of my daily job role. I do it out of passion and like as a side hobby. I still do it, but what I do is more of a program management role, community building role at Google. It's a non-tech role in itself. It's okay if you are a non-tech person, doesn't matter. What matters is like the thoughts that you bring to the table. For getting internships, if you are aiming for a tech role, for sure you would need a tech skills with you, even though you come from a non-tech background. Like I have seen people who are coming from like triple E background or mechanical background, even doing like really amazing in the industry. My friends are in IT and they are like non-tech, like mechanical or electrical background. It doesn't work. Like it doesn't stop you from applying. It's just that you need to have those skill sets with you, the right skill set that the company needs. It doesn't matter which background, which institute, which city that you're coming in. If you have the skills, you have the portfolio of projects, you will be there in those companies. So take it as an advice with a pinch of salt. But yeah, you if you are a non-tech person and you want to apply for a tech role, you would have to have tech skills. Like that's something you need to have mandatorily. But if you're applying for a non-tech role in a tech company, you can do well.
I think Siddhant has solved all of your queries. Yeah, DSE registrations are closed for this year. Next year in month of April or May, it would be opening up and then you can apply for it. Thank you, Siddhant. Thank you for conducting the session. That was a wonderful session. I hope everyone has learned a lot of things. Uh, yeah.
Pleasure, Dheeraj. Thank you. Thanks for having me over here. And all the best, folks. All the best for your journey going forward. And take care. Stay safe. Stay indoors.
Bye, Siddhant.
Bye. Take care.
So, hi everyone. Once again, I am back. So, that was a good session. We must thank you, Siddhant. A lot of students kept asking, even though I said that it's not all about certificate, I'm getting a lot of comments. Will I get the certificate for attending this summit? Do I have to attend the full summit? Guys, we would really appreciate if you attend the summit and take out good points for you, right? Even though you have to, if you are not doing anything, you would spend time on your classes, maybe on studies, but otherwise you would be watching web series and all that, right? Why don't you spend time here and learn things from all the global speakers, right? Next speaker is coming from Microsoft. So she will be joining us in 10 minutes. Before that, I will be having some interaction with you. If you want to ask any question, like question was there for me that how a non-technical person can open a startup in a technical field. It's something which I have learned over the time. I'm not saying that I am a coder, right? But I do understand the technical aspects of the company. I take care of the design personally, all the designing of Merge Intern that has been done by me, all the UI, UX, everything. So I learned it all. Yeah, this is it. I hope this answers your question. And yeah, someone wrote Mirzapur. Okay, good. If you would be watching that. And guys, now this time for a little contest. So I'll be putting up three questions, right? First one would who would be answering it would get a swag kit from us and our a lot of partners, which would include a T-shirt, pens, stickers, a few upskilling courses for free, and a lot of good things, right? For all the physical things which we have to deliver you, you will get it in 1 week or maybe in 2 weeks. But all those winners who will be first answering the question correctly very quickly, the first one to answer. Second thing is must be from India, right? And their address must be somewhere where the delivery happens. I hope it happens everywhere in India. So just putting up a question on the chat, okay? Just be ready. It's a question related to aptitude. I'll be asking all the questions related to aptitude. You can answer on the comment. First one to answer would be would win that. Okay. Uh, just answer the what do you call the option. Okay. A, B, C, D, there would be four questions, four answers to that. I'm asking the multiple choice questions. This is a question related to general aptitude. Uh, the question is coming here. Wait. Okay. 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 And the right answer is D. Prateek Singh is the winner of the first question. Option D is the right answer. Prateek, just in the Merge Intern community, share your details. Okay, not on the community, but you can get in touch with us and can share your address. Okay, so congratulations. So answer is D. So winner can just say yes or can show thumbs up on the chat box that he has heard me, that he has won. Guys, a lot of people are saying I gave the answer correctly. Let me see once again. Sometimes even due to internet connection, your answer reaches here late. But according to me, Prateek Singh has answered it first. No worries. There is next question coming up. Guys, it was about who gave first. I know there are internet connections and everything. So if you would guys would have been here, we would have just picked up randomly or do some games and a lot of things. Since there are a lot of things which we cannot do, there are a lot of limitations in virtually handling this. No, it's not about not fair, brother. It's just that I received Prateek's answer first. I can even share the screenshot which shows me his answer on the top. It's not about not fair. Or please start to handle the rejections. It happens with everyone. I have failed two startups. I have handled rejections a number of times. I have raised investments and still failed the thing. So no worries, no worries. Just congratulate the person who has won this. Okay, just even if you fail sometimes fail gracefully. Okay, so next time when you play again, you do it well. Yeah, everyone is efficient. So question number two, again related to general aptitude. Again related to relations. Just a second, guys. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, congratulating the person. And the commands and all that showing action. Ganesh, there must be some network issue from your side. So coming up with the second question, we are really sorry who couldn't win the last time. It's all about whose answer I get to see the first. There might be problem with the internet connections, but we are really sorry for that. There are few limitations, but don't worry. Chances to win the swags or to get the swags are never going to end, right? They will always be there. Maybe not now. Maybe the next time you will be getting swags from us, right? So no worries. The still who feel bad for it can do this Instagram and sorry, not Instagram, but Twitter and LinkedIn challenge, where you can do write some good posts about Merge Dev Colloquium and can invite your friends. The post with more engagements will be getting swags as well. We'll be announcing that winner on 31st October, that is tomorrow. Okay, so I'll ask my team to share the Telegram link in the group. So first share Telegram link. After that, I'll be posting the question again. No worries, Prateek. Someone will reach out to you. Okay, or maybe I'll just hold on. Try this, which I've just wrote. This is our community link. You can join. So coming up with next question, it's again related to general aptitude and relations. Okay, this time we won't go first. Let's tweak this a little bit. Instead of taking the first one, let's take the person who is on the random number. Let's say who's on the 12th number, whose answer on will be on the 12th number from my screen, from my side. I'll also share their screenshot. I can share the screenshot that whose answer would be on the 12th number from after my question. Okay, so we'll be picking and it must be right. Okay. No, there would be problem. Sorry guys, there's a problem. My team just told me that I'm speaking such a stupid thing. There will be wrong answers as well. Just a second. We are just yeah. Thank you. It's a fun quiz. So they are just setting it up. Okay. 12th correct answer, not the first correct answer. 12th correct answer. 12th correct answer. If there is someone has given A for the first time, the person who would be on the 12th. Okay. So everyone would be slow to answer. But I'll only take this quiz for 1 minute. If someone answers it late, we won't be taking this up. This is quite evil. Yeah, someone just from my team told me this. Okay, question is there. Okay. Everybody is waiting for the number 12. Yeah. Guys, I'll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're not taking answers after. Okay. Yes. The correct answer is A. And see who's on the 12th number, who has given the correct answer. That was a very evil thing. I'm really sorry for that. But again, that was fun. Rakesh is first. Jitesh is second A. Anurag is repetitive answers would not be taken. Anurag is third. Lakshmi is fourth. Ankit is fifth. Nivedita is sixth. Atul is seventh. Lakshmi, your answer would not be taken again. Ankit, your answer would not be taken. Dhruv is eighth. Srinidhi is ninth. Charita is 10th. Bhargav is 11th. Yes, congratulations. So winner is Narendra Babu Komuri. So congratulations, Narendra. So you are the winner. Just share your details in the community. I'm really sorry for those who couldn't get this, even though after giving the correct answer, because problem was some people were saying that my team was telling me from the back end, okay, some people might be having a slow internet connection like me. I have a very slow internet connection. I have this network issue at my place. So that's why we came up with this evil plan of going to the 12th person. Congratulations, Narendra. One question is left. Uh, does anyone want to come up with any idea how to select the winner? Narendra Babu Komori, please show us thumbs up in the comment chat. We get to know you are there. Otherwise, we have to select someone else. Yeah, Bhargav. Oops, you just never mind, bro. Never mind. Everything Narendra wins. Oh, okay. We won't be answering to few political questions. This is not a political summit. This is more of a student summit. User Nightbot. What's a Nightbot? So, guys, a lot of people are asking me, do they have to be on the summit the whole day, the whole time? No, it's not like that. Just select the sessions, but we will be seeing this thing first. Certificates would not be given to everyone who have just registered. We are checking that who are attending the summit and who are not. Okay, so we are keeping a check on that as well. Okay, guys, no political puns, please. All our students here, please respect each other. Okay, top three. So you're saying top three. Okay. Just give me suggestion. I'm just waiting for a quick suggestion because only 3 minutes are left to announce the next speaker, who is from Microsoft, who is from name is Miri Rodriguez. She's a global head of internships at Microsoft. So yes, a lot of good learnings. Now you will get to know how to get into Microsoft to take the internships. Top three is best. Fourth position, top three. Okay. Please continue fast. Okay, your heartbeat is like going too fast. Huh? Okay, I'm coming up with third question, which is very simple. Which is very simple. Just fourth answer I will take. Fourth correct answer I will take. Fourth correct answer I would be taking. Okay. Question is here. It's a very simple question. Just counting five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're not taking any more answers after Hitul. Not taking any more answers after Hitul. This is the last person who had commented that. Guys, I'm just announcing the winner. That was fourth, right? Was it fourth or third? I forgot. So our speaker has joined. I'll just take 1 minute and we'll Guys, just a second, just a second. Uh, just a second. I lost the count. I think third person was there. Third A. Bhargav, again you left by one. Mm, Gorang Suri, third person who has given the correct answer. Answer was A. Gorang Suri, congratulations. Okay, that was fourth or third? That was fourth. Okay, okay, okay. I'm so sorry. It was fourth. Yeah, 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 yeah. Post Gorang. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Gorang, for congratulating you unnecessarily. Yeah, and fourth person is Khushbu Dattani. Yeah, Khushbu, congratulations. You must have received our community link. Please reach out to our team. Okay, guys, fourth person is there. So now our speaker, second speaker of the day is here. Let me just add her to the stream. Hi, Miri. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Welcome. So, guys, Miri Rodriguez, she's head of global internships at Microsoft. She's one of the most amazing speakers. She's also an author of book storytelling. Her book has just won an award. Congratulations, Miri.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for talking about the book. Yeah, it's been really a great journey to also lead the internship program at Microsoft, and I'd love to talk more about that today. So excited to be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. So, guys, just hear this session very carefully. Miri has woke up quite early to give this session to everyone on the weekend. So, welcome, Miri. So, will you be sharing your PPT? So, I'll just
I will. I'm sharing right now. Hope you could see it.
yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So again, thank you so much for having me. I want to walk everyone through a little bit of our breadth and scope at Microsoft, and then get into the nitty-gritty of the things you want to know in terms of application process, requirements for internships, and specifically for tech roles. This will basically give you an idea of where we are, and again, the breadth and scope, the mapping, if you will, of our business, and where you could be placed. Placement is a big deal. So let's start first with our history, shall we? I mean, hopefully you know these guys are. We started small, as you see here, but one thing that we always call out at Microsoft as part of our culture, which is something to consider every time, is that innovation and learning has always been part of our DNA. And so when we think about what that looks like for us today, what that looks like for you today, think about the values that Microsoft has exerted as a company, as a brand, since the beginning of time. These are the values that hold true for us today, the same. And so when we think about you coming in as part of our DNA, you should hold those same values. You should be able to speak to those same values. And as a storyteller that I am, I also talk about using your origin story as I go through this deck. I would like for you to think about your own story, your own accomplishments, your own failures, and how you can weave that into this idea of innovation and learning. To be part of our DNA, you will get asked questions like, why Microsoft, right? And so you can actually talk through your story and say, hey, I belong here because I already am part of that DNA. I already think about learning and innovation this way. I've experienced it this way. So when you think about the growth of our company in the last few years, as you may have heard already, we became the #1 most valuable company in the world a couple of years ago, a coveted title. And this was done for many reasons, but I believe also the thing that sets us apart and has continued to do that, not only is it our devices and our products, it is also the idea that we are a giving company. So another core value that we exert at Microsoft, in fact, in the month of October, which is just ending, we take the entire month to give. Our employees give millions of dollars, and matched by Microsoft as a company, to organizations all around the world. So again, this is not just about us, just about our technology. Is our technology matched with our social good? It's AI for good. It's how employees continue to give throughout the cycle, not only in the month of October, but really throughout the year. So think about, again, how that matches with your own core values. It's important when you think about Microsoft as not only a company, a big tech company, but something that will probably drive your career, will serve as a platform for your career. How do you make that assertion? How do you say, hey, I really want Microsoft Microsoft to be that for me, become that platform? Well, think about those pillars, think about what we stand for, and really what drives us. About 6 years ago, as you already know, our fearless leader Satya took the CEO role, and he wrote a book called Hit Refresh. I hope you have the chance to read it. If you haven't had the chance, please do. It really speaks about his own journey at Microsoft. It speaks about his personal journey as someone from India, as you already know he is. It really also talks about one of our key pillars as well, which is empathy, leading with empathy. For me personally, this transformed my life. It made me think differently, it made me act differently. I'm still on that journey. I spoke about that in my book. Satya really talks about leading with empathy, and it really essentially began to change the scope of our mission. Before he came on board, our mission was truly to just put a PC on every desk and every home. It was focused on product. And then when he came on board, he really decided to change our story. And really, we became kind of a psychic in the story, not the hero. You are the hero. Our customer is the hero. And that innately changed also the way we work. So when you come to Microsoft, you will become part of this extended vision. It is to empower every person in an organization on the planet to achieve more. It is you and I. And so again, it's empowering others. It's empowering myself. It's really how I use the platform. At Microsoft, I have pivoted my career 8 times. I've been there 8 years. I've been in operations. I've been in customer services and support. I've been in engineering, and now lately I'm in HR. I'm not an HR career person. I didn't go to school for HR, but I'm there. And so Microsoft enables you to empower yourself, to drive yourself not on a linear success path, but really the breadth and scope of what Microsoft entails. And so you're able to really think about, a long-term career at Microsoft. I honestly didn't think I would when I first came in. I typically would spend, 2 or 3 years in a company and then move on. But I've been here long enough because it never gets boring. And I really think about culture being part of that true innovation, a true storyline to who we are. Here are the pillars of our culture. And I can tell you, having been here for 8 years, it's really something that I appreciate about our company. It's one of the things that for me is the most important thing. When you think about your own expertise, when you think about your resume, when you think about talking to our recruiters, do you exert these attributes? This is part of our culture. And the reality is, if you don't, or if you haven't spoke about these key pillars, if you haven't been able to quantify, or you haven't been able to explain further how you've been able to live these core pillars, or you want to live these core pillars, then it's going to be hard for us to really make an assertion on, do you belong here in our culture? Are you part of our culture? Can you integrate as part of our culture? Culture is everything. So think about these pillars. Growth mindset. What does that mean to you? How have you exerted this attribute? Customer obsessed. How have you demonstrated that? A lot of people say, well, I'm really passionate. What does that mean? Right? I talk about demonstrated passion. How have you demonstrated that passion? How are you making a difference today? What have you done in your school? What have you done in your community? How have you demonstrated a team player approach? These are the things that we look for in people that are candidates and that we select for internships and FTEs, full-time employees. Speaking about employees, part of our culture is also a very generous culture. We have community. We have a lot of opportunity for growth, a lot of flexibility. In fact, today I didn't wake up that early. I am based in Seattle, but I am actually in Miami Beach because who wants to be in Seattle right now with the weather? So basically, it's Microsoft has a lot of flexibility in the workspace and in the modern workplace and modern worker. Our community, I can tell you something. My mentors today, I have 6, all come from Microsoft. I met them all at Microsoft. These are brilliant minds. You have proximity to really incredible people with incredible insight. And I think that's one of the key takeaways I take from Microsoft is the people that I have met and people that I've become friends with. Opportunities for growth. I already mentioned, I've pivoted my career 8 times. And truly, I've had conversations about moving to Singapore, moving to China, moving to other places. You can, and people have, because of the breadth and scope that the company offers. So really, it's not, it's beyond one role. It's beyond one career path. It really is opportunity for you to grow exponentially in many facets of the company. I want to switch gears a little bit to kind of start showing you how the placement works at Microsoft based on our solution areas. So first of all, I want to show what those solutions area are. Our main business right now, as you may already know, is based on intelligent cloud and the intelligent edge. This is basically AI solutions that we offer, ubiquitous computing, AI, and the multi-sense, multi-device experiences. And these are driven by 6 functional areas. We call them at Microsoft: gaming, modern life, modern workplace, business apps and infrastructure, and then data and AI. And the key pillars to drive these functions are empowered by love, attention to what matters, simplicity, and trust. Again, write these down. These are keywords. These are values. These are core pillars to how we do business in these function areas. Now, when you apply at Microsoft, you will be placed in one of these solution areas. This is basically how we break our business out. And it looks a little bit like this. First, we have our senior leadership team, or what we call our SLT. And there's Satya first, and then all of these other parts, other team members, SLT members, actually report directly to Satya. As you will see here in this org chart, these solution areas are broken down a little bit further by leadership, and even more in engineering and non-engineering spaces. So I'm first going to talk about the engineering space, because I know this is where you want to think about as coders, as devs. And this is basically our map of our engineering function at Microsoft. Again, thinking about those solution areas, they kind of drill down a little bit more by SLT member, and you will be placed in one of these spaces here as an intern and eventually as an FTE. A lot of question that comes up is, if I get placed in a team as an intern, do I go back to my same team? Sometimes, sometimes not. It really will depend on the demand. But the idea will be that you do. In fact, the group that hires you, there's a headcount attached to that. So what we do is we offer an internship for the 12 weeks, and then you would actually come in after you graduate as a full-time employee within that team. But it's not necessarily always. You also may have a chance to actually move to other teams. So there's a lot of spaces and places where you can land at Microsoft. A little drill down on that engineering team from teams and functions, just to understand kind of the scope of these areas that I mentioned before. So just a little bit of an idea of what cloud and AI platform services offer: experience in devices, AI and research, and gaming as well. As commercial engineering and ops. So here you have a little bit of an idea of what these, an abstract of these functions, of where you may land high level and what that function serves to our customer. So it could be a customer service serving technology. It could be an interface technology. It could be a back-end technology. There's so much breadth to the engineering function at Microsoft. And then here's a map of the internship opportunities, thinking about those same functions I just mentioned. So you can come in as a SWE, so a software engineer, PM, program manager, a garage intern or an Explore intern. Garage and Explore are more of the early in career. The garage is a niche internship, and the Explore is an early in career internship. And I'll explain a little bit here of what those internship offerings are, because a lot of confusion may happen on what types of internship we offer at Microsoft. So when I speak of internships, it's an umbrella of offerings that we have at Microsoft, and it's also a scope of international versus HQ. A traditional internship will be the one served here in Seattle. It is a 12-week internship, and it is offered to undergraduates anywhere from freshman to senior year, mostly to junior and seniors, because we want to make sure that cycle, we're able to offer that intern to FTE or full-time employee role. We will bring interns from international all over the world to come serve that internship here in HQ. It's typically during summertime. Our interns begin to come in around April, May timeframe, and they will drop off around August, end of July, August timeframe. So there's waves of internship date. I know the elephant in the room is asking about the status of our internship specifically this year. While I can't make an immediate assertion, we have not made a decision yet on whether the internships will be virtual or in person. What I can say is Microsoft continues to work through the many moving parts of what it entails to offer a safe and a healthy environment for our employees and our interns. So we're working through those details of what that means as COVID-19 continues to impact all of these spaces for us. So we have not made a decision, but we will be announcing as soon as we do make that decision, the status of those internships. How that impacts you, we will also be able to walk through those details. There's a lot involved in having to bring international students through travel as we typically would do. In fact, we bring around 3,500 interns in-house from all over the world, but we also offer internships in other parts of the world. India has a very big hub of interns. We take about 800 there in Hyderabad. So there's places outside of HQ that we do offer internships as well. And I encourage you to apply there as well. So when you think about the niche internships, such as PhDs, MSR, which is research, that's under data science. We also have a latest offering that came out last year, quantum technology. So quantum internships are also available, hardware, mechanical, and electrical engineer. So here's the map of where you would kind of fall into in that space. And most typically will have SWEs and PMs. The other one's a little bit niche, as you see here. And all of them are available on our website to apply. You'll be able to see the qualifications for all of them. Within the engineering roles, a little bit of a drill down of what those roles will look like here. And just to give you an idea of what you would be part of, right? So when you come in, you actually will complete a project. And your project will most likely attach to one of these, abstracts of what a program manager is, a software engineer is and does. Same for hardware and customer-facing technology. So think about these spaces and where you may land in the scope of these roles that are offered at Microsoft. I'm going to just go real quick on the business functions, just because there may be someone who's interested in not just the engineering piece, but the actual business support. And these are functions like sales and marketing, legal, and HR. We do offer internships in these functions as well. They are not as many as a number as we offer in engineering, because engineering is the heart of our business. But we do have a few that we offer in these spaces. These are the opportunities within marketing, finance, sales, and HR, just as we mapped out the engineering ones. And I would say maybe around 500 to 600 are openings within this space is what we will have year over year. And they are also available online. These function roles look a little bit like this. I won't take too much time there. Just to kind of give you an idea, in case you're wondering, could you apply to one or the other? The answer is yes. Each role is different and you will be placed differently. So one application does not cancel out the other one. When you apply to an engineering role, if you have the basic qualifications for one, and you also happen to have a double major and you want to apply for business, you can also do that, increasing your chances for placement. And speaking of chances, we're getting to the application process that everyone wants to know what it looks like and what it entails. I'll start with the very basic point and its starting point, which is applying online. I would love to review everyone's resume. I would love to review everyone's LinkedIn profile. I simply cannot, and it won't do you any good to send it to me directly because of private policies. We are not allowed to share this type of information, your personal information. So we do ask for an equitable experience to all our candidates that you begin this process by starting and applying online. And there's the website, microsoft.com/university. And that will basically click off the rest of the process. This is what you can expect. Around November timeframe, if you have applied between August and now, our recruiters will begin to review those resumes. So we're just getting into that space now where recruiters are accepting applications and going through all the many applications. And they will begin to call people back very soon between November December and January timeframe. So you will be hearing back to get interviews right around the holidays or right after the holidays for a first interview, and then for a final round interview. In fact, our recruiters are moving very fast this time around. This is actually easier for us this year because these processes are being held virtually because of COVID-19. Typically, this would be done in person, so it takes a little longer to bring you in-house and to make all of the logistics to bring someone to come and meet Microsoft in person. But because they're being done virtually, we estimate a little bit more a faster time turnaround in this process. So don't fret and don't get impatient. If you have applied, wait for this time to go through. We get a lot of applications, but if you meet the basic qualifications, there's a great chance that you would be called. The process is made of 2 rounds. And so I know that a lot of you wanted to understand that placement process and the questions that may be asked. The first round, you can expect 1 interviewer, and it will be from a functional group, from those functional areas that I mentioned before. So these are our full-time employees who volunteer to actually interview our candidates from a functional group. It's not necessarily from a team that you will be placed at. So it's more of a high-level area. In this time, we say virtual or in person. At this time, we are conducting them virtually, obviously, because of COVID-19. And the questions around Microsoft and functions are general assessment questions. So my suggestion to you is, as I have shown you, the breadth of Microsoft, our core values, our history, our mission, as I have shown you our leadership in those functional areas, do a little more homework there. Get time to actually understand what Microsoft, the breadth and the scope, if this is, this is something that you really want to get into. We have a lot of information on our website. Learn as much as you can, understand our history as much as you can, understand our business as much as you can, so you're able to answer those questions and you have the knowledge that you need to know about the company. We will get back to you in around a week time frame, and you will get a recruiter's support to kind of guide you through that process once you get called for that first interview. The second round, you can expect 3 to 5 interviewers, so it's a little more lengthy in interview time. And this is actually interviewers from the actual team where you would be placed. So by the first time, it's more of a functional area recruiter, interviewer. This one is more of like the actual team you'll be working in and for. It will be virtual unless the location where you are has been moved to a stage where they're already in person. There are some places at Microsoft Global that have already moved and opened up their offices 100%. So if you're applying to a place where they have opened up 100%, it may be in person. And that depends again on everything related to COVID-19. So it's really a work in progress. We continue to assess situations, right? Specific assessments for team and role will be asked. So now the actual interviewers are thinking about how you fit into the team. So it is important to think about, once you are being interviewed for a specific team, what does that team do? What is the role? Is it a PM? Is it a suite? Again, think about the differences, think about the scope, think about those abstracts of each of those roles and where it serves. And then the results are delivered within 2 to 3 days, and you do get a prep by the recruiter. A few questions that will be asked: why Microsoft, why tech? Why this role, and the skills needed to be successful. So depending on the actual role, the tech interview, you can expect some coding questions. You can expect specific language questions. This will all depend again on the actual role. But here's a high level idea of questions that you may get asked. And I really encourage you to think about each of these questions from a very personalized point. What makes the interview, what makes you stand out is your story, nothing else. You may have a lot of similar interviews or similar resumes. The recruiter may see a lot of similar resumes in terms of school and GPA, coding camps or certifications, but truly is what you've done there, how you bring that resume to life to explain these whys that will really capture the recruiter's attention. Really speaking about those keywords of growth mindset, leading with empathy, empowering yourself, because empowerment is one of our, it is our mission. So think about those words and how you place them system as part of your story into the Microsoft interview. A few things to think about when you show up into the interview, especially because it most likely will be in a virtual environment. And that gets hard because we don't feel that energy one-on-one through the screen. Passion is one. I often actually say demonstrated passion. So beyond just saying I'm really passionate about something, say, hey, you know, I have demonstrated my passion for tech this way. I've gone through 3, summer coding camps. I have learned 2 languages. So just think about all the things, certifications, all the things that have demonstrated your true passion for tech or for the role. Versatility. Are you just a coder? Is that the only thing that you do? Do you also play an instrument? These are things that actually are part of our DNA because we want you to show up as who you are. You're not just, a coder. You're not just a dev. You're someone who's coming in and bringing your entire self to Microsoft. So be able to show that versatility and the different layers of who you are. Be able to showcase the different layers of you in the many areas of life and your drive, right? What drives you? What gets you up in the morning? And be real with that, right? If it's like, what drives me? Well, trying to get a job is what drives me. That's a real answer, right? So be able to just articulate these things of like, what is to you important today and why, and be authentic about it. So just want to reiterate at Microsoft, again, being here for 8 years and truly driving my career in many spaces, Microsoft is a great place to be. And I hope to see all of your applications, but definitely think about why you want to be part of this, not just because it's Microsoft or it's big tech. Do you really see yourself here because it's somewhere where you can drive your own dreams, where you can actually build your career, where you can actually empower others, and that you belong in that DNA? With that, I will stop sharing and take any questions.
So yeah, Miri, that was a great session. That was really wonderful, really energetic. So students have a lot of questions. I'll be summing up those questions, and I have summed up few questions which I'll ask. Okay, someone says my score is not good. Okay, but my skill sets are.
Okay.
Does that increases my chances in getting into Microsoft?
Yeah, so I should say that we don't necessarily look at specific schools. While we do sometimes have hiring events at some schools, the school itself does not matter. And I have seen people getting hired from all places. So it is about your individual qualifications and skill sets. It's not specific to the school. I actually myself went to a local school at before I entered Microsoft. I went to a community college. I was able to then get schooling later on, but it's not specific to A schools or type 1 schools. While we do connect with those schools at a high level, we do look at every application, and the school has nothing to do with your chances of applying and getting a job.
Okay. Well, next is like someone asked that I want to join Microsoft, but I got rejected initially and I joined a very small company, which is not a dream company. But I want to really get a job into Microsoft. Do
Yeah.
I need to do the masters for that? Let's say spend 1 year in the job, then again want to be there. Do I need to do masters to get into Microsoft, or like what?
No. In fact, again, I did not do a master's. I came in with a bachelor's. I actually finished my
Wow.
master's a couple of years ago, and Microsoft paid for it. So it was actually a really nice gift. So I did not have a master's degree when I entered Microsoft. You do not have to have it. Again, look at every role and look at the basic qualifications. If you meet the basic qualifications, you are a candidate for that role. And it's beyond, I would say a lot of people just think of like the academia of it. There's a lot of things that you can do and have a possibility of doing in volunteering spaces, in having your own side gig or your own company. These are all other things that give you beyond a master's or academia. They give you skill sets that you can showcase as you having the capabilities in the spaces that we need. So don't just think about the academic world as the one track. There are so many ways to demonstrate capabilities and skill sets for a role.
Okay, so this reminds me of a movie, a Hollywood movie, which name is 2021, in which the guy has to take an admission in Harvard. The application process.
I've seen that movie.
You jump out of your resume. So he tells his experience, which is beyond the studies, how he
Yeah,
earned money and not at
exactly.
all.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And there's so many ways. Again, skill sets are not just acquired through a school, right? Of course, you get, certifications are great. I would say, of course, get an Azure certifications if it's available to you. There's so many Microsoft certifications available out there. Get those. I mean, they're there. But don't get stuck in this linear path to success. There isn't that. There's so much breadth and scope. In our DNA at Microsoft is a culture of diverse thought, right? Of diverse paths. And so if everybody had a master and we all looked the same and talked the same, it'd be really boring and we wouldn't accomplish a whole lot of things. So we welcome that diversity.
Okay. So someone asked that you said there's a large opportunities, internship opportunities, but for data scientists, the requirement is masters or PhD only. Is it necessary to have masters in mathematics?
So for data scientists, it depends. So I'll explain. The niche internships, well, all the internships are offered based on the demand from the business, right? So for example, Xbox will say, hey, we want 20 interns for Xbox, and we want 2 to come in as SWEs, we want 2 to come in as PMs. So they determine the actual demand, and then our recruiters go and get that demand. So every year it changes, especially for niche roles, and especially in data science for PhDs and quantum. Every year might be different depending on that demand and what they need. So yes, you just go in on the website, microsoft.com/university, look up what this year's requirements will be, and then specific to data science, it'll tell you what master's specific qualifications are. I don't know if it's specific math. I'm sorry, I haven't looked at the latest, but each role will give you different qualifications.
Okay. So I think now this is a very general question which I'm going to ask.
Okay.
This doubt even I had when I started my career many years back, that since you are from Microsoft, so the question will be quite particular, that if I want to get into Microsoft in a particular department, how do I identify which right skill sets are required? Which programming languages or particular skill sets?
Yeah. So again, placement, you will not choose the particular department. You will apply to a general internship role. We will meet that demand and place interns. And once you get placed in a specific team, you will serve that internship in that team. Now, if you had your eyes set on a specific org and you didn't get into that org, you do have a chance later on to actually come back and ask to be placed in the team there. Or once you come back as a full-time employee, you can switch to the team. So you don't get that chance immediately at the internship level when you come back as the FTE. Now, we did used to have a change placement process where we kind of like interns had a chance to look at other orgs and say, hey, I would like to come back to that org. We have not, during COVID, it got a little messy because our internships went virtual versus in person. So it gets a little bit messy. So we have not implemented that this year. And then we don't know what it's going to be for next summer. But again, don't fret if you don't get right into the team that you want. You may have that chance later on.
Okay. So a lot of students are very keen to know about the Microsoft Ambassador program and they want to be a part of it. How to do that?
Of the what program? Sorry.
Yeah, the Ambassador program for students.
The master program?
No, the Campus Ambassador program for students.
I'm sorry.
Wait. So sorry, I think I heard the question. I read the question wrong. I'm going to that particular question.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So before that, you can answer that. How is there any community for students in Microsoft and how to be a part of that? Meanwhile,
so we have a few of them. I'm actually going to share the first one. There's a LinkedIn group for recruiting space where you can connect actually with our recruiting team. And I'm going to share it with you on the chat, and you can actually share it with the team as well. Here we actually share content, proactive content to all of our candidates and communities for anything, tips and tricks for application process, tips and tricks for recruiting process, specifically to different parts of Microsoft. You can connect with our recruiters there, ask questions. So I just put it in so you can actually share it out to everyone. So that's the first one. We also have different community-based programs. We have student ambassador program at Microsoft. There are many different ways that you can connect. They are specific to different locations. So I would just say get into our website, research student programs, and you'll be able to see, aside just from internships, the other programs that we offer. But there are many.
Okay. Yeah, you actually answered the question within this part, which I was
Okay.
asking. Yeah. So there has been a lot of instances where someone is asking that my CGPA is good, my skill sets are good, I know good coding, but still I got rejected. I even did good in the interview because I was quite confident and I answered the questions correctly. What might be the reason?
Yeah, well, I can't tell you the reason I did not get to recruit, but I can tell you this. I've seen interns or candidates apply time and time again, so over and over, because they've gone through the first round. They may have not have given the exact answer the best way, but they learn now what questions were asked, and they come back the next year, and now they're better prepared. So we do see a lot of interns that have applied year over year, 2 and 3 times, and finally the third time they get in. It is a very competitive space. And if you answer questions at a very high level or very general level or specific to academia, again, we're considering not just your track in academics and your certifications. We're considering all of who you are. Have you told your answers in story form? Have you shared the person that you are in other stories? A resume comes alive not only for you saying, I went to such and such school. You could say, my parents worked 2 and 3 jobs to get me to that school, so I understand empowerment. They empowered me, right? So there's a lot of storytelling that happens that you can bring yourself to that space. So it could be that you possibly did not, while you did answer the question, you didn't give it as much depth as we're looking for when we're thinking about how you fit into our culture and our DNA. Ask yourself that question over and over. How are you demonstrating those values that I talked about? Have you talked about growth mindset? Have you talked about giving? Have you talked about demonstrated passion? Have you talked about all these things that I just mentioned, empowerment and leading with empathy? If these are not keywords that you have been using, you may have lost the opportunity to someone else who actually did talk about that. So while you do have the basic qualifications or even really great qualifications, someone else may have actually talked about those specifics and maybe have, it is competitive, then would have won.
Okay. So someone is asking any particular open source program from Microsoft where students can contribute into?
Open source? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are coding, there are coding opportunities for open source in different spaces, and it really depends on the track. LinkedIn Learning, by the way, is also, as you know, we own LinkedIn, even though it acts as a sister company. There's a lot of tracks there on LinkedIn Learning that you can actually begin to take. And I would say, don't just focus. I mean, while of course the coding chops are good, also focus on this empathy skill sets, on the soft skill sets that we want to see. Once again, we are not only looking for coders. We're looking for coders who can play the piano, who can, write a book. People that have a lot more depth to just I code, and that's the kind of people that we want to bring in at Microsoft. That's the kind of people that can say, "Hey, I'm a coder," and people. You have a lot more skill sets to showcase. So if you are not a public speaker and you want to learn to do that, there's a lot of open source learnings on LinkedIn that you can take to be able to kind of, learn that skill set and create that muscle for yourself. So think about those. Microsoft offers a lot of different sources for many different things. It really depends on the path that you're looking for. But think about being, again, well-rounded in many areas, not just coding.
Okay, now last question. Is there any particular time for internship hiring month for Microsoft in India?
Yes. So for India specifically, it's going to start around April timeframe, March, April timeframe. So really start looking for that, even though it really is year round, I should say. So you can find, you can find a location there. You can find some open roles. Truly, it is around springtime. So be ready for that time. March, April timeframe. It's really when it happens a lot. So so be prepared for that time frame and be ready to showcase all your skill sets.
Yeah, I think that clearly sorts a lot of queries from a lot of people. Guys, there are many questions. You can reach out to us on the community. We will reach out to Miri and try to get your questions answered. Also, there's a community group on LinkedIn for Microsoft where you can also join that as
Yes.
well. Yeah. So, Miri, can you please share the link? I'll share with the students.
Yeah, I just put it in the private chat for you. I don't know if I can.
Yeah. I'm sharing it on the.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this sums up the session.
Okay.
Thank you, Mimi. Thank you on the behalf of everyone.
I hope this was helpful for everyone. And again, think about the holistic approach to Microsoft. We look at DNA, how you fit in. So be able to talk about all that. We hope to see your applications and hopefully see you there. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Bye, Mimi. Bye. Have a
Bye.
good day.
You too.
So from this session, guys, I understood one thing which I generally observe in many students, that okay, skill sets are required, they're very much required to do any work, right? But also what you do beyond your skills or studies, right? See, two people are there, both know coding, both can make a website, both can create a program, can do good and you can do wonders in coding. But one is a great speaker. He shares the content on LinkedIn, on some social media with a lot of students, right? And definitely has made a reach to the students where people get to know many things from that particular person, right? He might be having a good chance to be seen by the recruiters because he has done something beyond his resume or beyond his studies, right? So this is what we have learned from this session. So now we are moving on to the next session, which is artificial intelligence craze among students versus the industry expectations. So we have with us Vijay Praveen, who is from Siemens, Germany, and Nikhil Jain, who is co-founder and lead mentor at Foreign Admits. So Foreign Admits is also a partner with this event. It's a place to know it all about the education overseas. So I'll call Nikhil and Vijay on the session. Welcome, Nikhil. Welcome, Vijay.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us, guys. And I'll give the session to you. So it's a fireside chat between Nikhil and Vijay. So, guys, if you have any questions, please put on the comment box. I'll try to ask on your behalf at the end of the chat. Yeah, over to you, guys.
Okay. First of all, welcome everyone. Welcome Vijay to the session. Glad to be here. So the topic is, yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Nikhil, can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
Perfect. How are you? How is things?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So, AI, machine learning, data sciences, this is the past 3 years or 5 years. These are the few technologies which have grown like exponentially. Okay. Every student, every, stream student, mechanical to mining to computer science to IT, everyone is jumping into data sciences.
Yeah.
You yourself have studied abroad and have gained a good experience in data sciences and AI. So how do you see this field, molding for younger aspirants, who are now charting their journey or probably switching their careers into this field? What was your journey look like, and probably you can shed some light about how people can prepare in this kind of field.
Sure. So if you look at countries like Germany or countries in Europe, to be honest, they are a little slow on data. little slow on exploring the data, because they believe that the data privacy is one of the biggest issues here, and particularly in Europe. But it's completely the opposite when it comes to countries like US, Canada, or the other countries, Western countries. So I believe that there are a lot of opportunities in the other half of the West. As I mentioned, there are enormous amount of opportunities in Europe, Germany, France, Sweden, Netherlands, and so on. And as a lot of things are getting automated right now, I believe that people will deep dive more into this particular space.
Interesting. So we talk about the craze among the students. Now people are looking to build their profile into this kind of space. So how do you suggest, or for someone who is starting off, let's say tomorrow, if I'm going to start my journey to data science, what are the prerequisites that a student might be prepared for, and then how the journey can go along, and what could be the kind of career options that one can have, because data science itself, people don't know about it, but they have wide career options.
Mm-hmm. So I believe, I mean, like, student should be actively looking out for opportunities out there. Like, let's say an internship would be one option, or a training, so sort of courses that are available online on various platforms. I mean, you have a number of platforms. You have Udemy, Udacity, Linda, or so many platforms that provide literally free education, or some paid versions are also there. To grab that and to do it well, and to later on convert it into an internship, makes a lot of more sense to actually dream about getting into this space. So that's one prerequisite in my opinion. And I mean, nowadays with this stiff competition, I believe also going for a master's makes a lot of sense.
Interesting. So you want to
Yeah,
suggest that having a specialization is really important in this kind of field?
yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
when we talk about, again, I'm circling back to the previous point, that
Mhm.
when we talk about data sciences, what are the varieties of career option that opens up for a student?
Okay, so um, depends. I mean, if someone has a financial background, let's say someone has a financial background, they can slowly start getting into business analyst roles, and then later on start analyzing the data. And for some people who has a lot of statistical background, they can directly jump into building models, and they can do a lot of predictive modeling, for instance. And for some who is really interested in doing the pipelines, they can actually work around with data engineering roles. So there are actually data analyst role, which is sort of you analyze the data, you see which sort of databases that would fit the data, and so on. And there is data science role, which fits in more for those who has a lot of coding experience and a good statistics background. And data engineer roles is where you build pipelines for the data. And then business analyst role, which is a bridge between data teams and the other teams. So yeah, there are multiple roles which a student can choose from, but it depends on the interest of every student.
Okay, interesting. Now, moving from data science to artificial intelligence. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
people often get confused between data science and artificial
Yeah, yeah,
intelligence. Both go sometimes hand in hand. So,
yeah.
how, as per you, as an AI engineer, that's one of the topmost profile.
Mm-hmm.
What are
Mm-hmm.
the things that you would look into an AI engineer? So that people can start looking. Okay, these are the things that at least I need to prepare for.
Mm-hmm. So, in my opinion, the bigger companies, I mean, they have these fancy terms: AI engineer, ML engineer, machine learning engineer, and data science experts. But in a startup, everything is the same. So, if you'll break it down into ML and AI, because ML and AI comes under data science. So, from an industry perspective, people will look at the coding expertise that one possesses. And let's say if someone is really good at Python, that is an add-on that can add real value to the profiles. And what else? Maybe the knowledge on building algorithms, or because there are n number of models that are available: regression models, random forest techniques, decision trees, so and so on. So there are so many models and algorithms that are available. So if someone has been performing algorithms one after the other consistently, then he gets a better chance to fit into those roles.
Okay, so you want to say that practicing is something that's very important, and
Yeah.
probably getting to the depth again is very important.
Yes.
You can't
Yes.
just touch on the surface and survive in this industry,
Yes.
because we see the industry is also getting competitive in data sciences. Now everyone is jumping into this kind of industry. So what is that one thing that you see that can give any student an edge? That okay, if you're gonna do this thing over and over again, or you're gonna maintain these things, you still have an edge.
Mhm. Mm, for sure, the coding expertise, the coding knowledge on Python. So that's for sure. That's for given. I mean, everyone who is aspiring to step into this domain, they should be aware of Python expertise, and then probably a couple of data visualization tool knowledge like Tableau or Spotfire or ClickSense. There is this Google Data Studio which is available for free. That is one thing. Or also database knowledge like AWS. Nowadays, a lot of companies are moving into digitalization, especially given this pandemic situation. People would love to move to data space, online cloud space. So I mean, then and there, it depends again on the interest, but for sure, at least a couple of these expertises that I was mentioning, it's good to have. And as you said, practicing is very, very important. So to practice it, uh, not just once in a while, but to on a regular basis. If someone practices it, then yeah, that's really awesome.
Okay. So a couple of students are asking questions about mathematical background if
Mhm.
they're going for data sciences. Is it like a mandate or someone needs to build it if they are not from mathematical background?
Not really. I mean, I have seen people from physics background, from chemistry background. Let's take myself. I am from electrical engineering background, so we are not purely mathematicians or mathematics background. So it is not always a case where only mathematics background students can be able to perform really well, but it gives them an upper hand. So I've seen even fashion technology people rocking on in data science world. So it has nothing to do with mathematics. Basically, it all depends on your interest, how you see things, how you perceive things, and how you apply things.
Okay. So again, this is one of the questions that might come out because all the three or four tech giants like Google, AWS, and Azure, okay, people often get confused what to perceive, where from they would get their learning because nowadays learning and certifications are predominantly accessible by everyone when we talk about online. So what are the platforms that you would recommend that people can definitely look towards in starting of their career?
Yeah, this is a common question that everybody literally asks. I mean, what's the best platform? That's how the question begins. And in my opinion, I would say that it depends on individuals. I mean, there is no so-called best platforms because the contents are getting updated once in a while, and there are research papers getting published every single day. So it's all about how you look at things. So in my opinion, I would suggest them to have a look at a variety of platforms. For example, them logging into Udemy, Udacity, or Lynda, Coursera, just multiple platforms. Just get a feel of each course. So let's say if you want to learn Python, enroll Python course in multiple platforms. Get a feel of that course. Let's say listen to the first 5 to 10 minutes of the course, because every tutor or every mentor is different. So uh, if someone feels really good to you, then pick that particular course and check the remaining. So this is what I advise people. I mean, rather than spending hours and hours of listening to a lecture and then feel like, oh my god, I have wasted my time, I haven't learned anything, this would be the go-to option. Just to pick courses on multiple platforms, get to know about the projects or the flow and the mentorship, and then pick one or maximum two course, then check the remaining.
Okay, interesting. So, talking about the online course, now let's move towards a university specific course. You went to Germany and you studied there, and
Yeah.
how was your journey and transformation? How did your educational experience there helped you?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, a degree abroad is really good, and that's where you guys come in handy. I mean, people like foreign admits and the other market players. You're doing a really good job in sending a lot of people from India to various countries. For sure, an abroad a degree from abroad and good marks. I mean, it's not just about degree at the end of the day. It's about how well you perform there and what kind of projects that you do in the university, what kind of internships roles that you take up. So it all amounts to that particular thing. So yeah,
Okay.
it is handy.
Okay. So how's the main transition from a college
Mhm.
student, you were a college student sometime back, to now working at Siemens? How was the transition look like? How did you manage these kinds of roles? And again, congratulations of 40 on 40. So
Yeah,
that's something people don't know a lot about you. So how did this
yeah.
happen?
Thanks a lot. I mean, the transition, to be honest, it's not so smoother. I mean, I had to do all the hard yards. I had to take up a lot of courses offline, even after graduating from the university, because the university teaches you a drop, but data science is an ocean, so you can learn a lot. So you have to make a lot of strides. You have to grab a lot of opportunities that comes in your way, or look out for opportunities that you can explore. And then also being in Germany, the language is German, so half of the working population interacts in German. So that was also on a tougher side. But if you have the passion, I mean, if you believe that you can learn some new language, because having an additional language on your resume, or it helps for your life. I mean, not just for your resume, but it helps what you can do, what uh, you can explore. I mean, it gives you um, not just limited opportunities, but German clients are everywhere, German people are everywhere. So you get that additional buffer where you can say that, hey, I speak a little bit of German, I speak uh, fluent German. So here I am to grab that opportunity. So yeah, so for me the transition was not so perfect, but yeah, to be consistent was one thing that I learned myself, uh, to 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 convert the starts. It's just like cricket. So if you score a boundary, it's like converting it to a bigger score, and then to score a half century or a century.
Interesting. So, talking about opportunities, how do you see international grounds as of
Mhm.
now as an opportunity for any international students? You must have definitely spoken to a lot of international students
Mhm.
throughout your journey. What is that one tip that you can give to all the incoming international students if they're coming to Germany?
Yeah. So a country like Germany, they have a lot of opportunities, especially in the field of IT sector, IT, computer science, or electrical engineering. Mechanical engineers are a bit saturated in German market right now, because people are coming in flurry, especially for mechanical engineering domain for Germany for quite a few years now. So it's actually about to saturate. But I mean, nevertheless, if you believe that you can do well, you can score well, you can get the good marks, there is always this opportunity for mechanical engineers. But nevertheless, for other domains, there are a lot of opportunities. Maybe because of this pandemic, maybe a couple more months to actually kickstart a lot of opportunities. Maybe at the beginning of 2021, uh, there you can see a lot of opportunities popping up. But for sure, I mean, these German guys are very proactive. I mean, they had a worst number of cases, COVID cases, during February, March in the past, but now it's like very much under control. I mean, they are also talking about a lockdown 2.0, which is actually in place from the next Monday, from the coming Monday, which they are actually proactively looking at the numbers. And predicting numbers of March 2021. So that's how proactive they are.
Wow. So
Yeah,
it's pretty much of a sorted situation.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, I think just to wrap up the session, the couple of points that I want to understand from you. The number one thing is a lot of students are asking about what is the importance of language and management skills when you are going abroad or probably studying abroad, and then going into this data science kind of field. So can you shed some light on that?
Languages is something has become important nowadays, because when I came here to Germany in 2013, stress on language was not so much, because there at that point they were looking at a lot of international workforce, but now the competition is really high. So a little bit of stress on language has been put on, so that they can filter some candidates. I mean, imagine if a position is open and 20 people are applying, they can actually set a filter with the language. I mean, it's not like you need to have a fluent German. I mean, after being here for 7 years, even I am not so fluent. I can manage a bit. So I mean, just get into it, do some sort of certifications, just take it to the level where you can feel I can manage. So that's the level they are looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
And talking about your as a personal development, how did you see those 7 years in Germany and to this particular stage? You have definitely spoken at like hundreds of events.
Mhm.
How do you see that kind of international exposure adding to your profile?
Mhm. Yeah. So one thing is, I mean, it's my university is TU Munich, which is similar to IITs. So that's a badge that gives an additional feature to my profile, and of course, German being in Germany, that gives an added advantage. So for sure, these things push my profile when you compare it with the others. That gives you an added advantage in any given day. So yeah.
Absolutely. So I think this was amazing. Dheeraj has come, so probably Dheeraj might want to
Thanks.
add.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys,
Thank
that
you.
was really a wonderful session. There are a lot of questions coming up. We'll take those questions in the community, and Vijay will pass over to you. Post
Sure.
the summit. We'll keep on answering our community members. So, just a little thing which I wanted to, the way I wanted to introduce Nikhil and Vijay, but I skipped on to the fireside chat just to let everybody know that Vijay is the first Indian to speak at a TEDx talk in Germany, right? He's one of the globally renowned speakers, and Nikhil, who's IIT and IIT BHU and IIT Mumbai alumni, he has mentored more than 6,000 students in education overseas. He's the founder of platform Foreign Admit. So if you have any doubts related to studies abroad, so Nikhil is your guy. He's also a content creator on LinkedIn. With the he sadly he lost his account with more than 30,000 followers, but he's a LinkedIn content creator. If you want to build your LinkedIn profile as well to get into the eyes of recruiters, so he's your guy. So thank you guys. Thank you for the wonderful session.
Thanks a lot.
Right. So,
Yeah.
guys, so before beginning to the next session, so I'll just the next session is about future of student dev communities in India. So this is just starting in 30 seconds. So hi guys, so I'm welcoming Jonathan from Chef Progress, Nikita Gandhi from Google, and Mehul Patel from Internaut Foundation. Guys, welcome you all. So all the renowned speakers here to speak on future of student dev communities. So Mehul will be moderating this session. So over to you, Mehul. Welcome, guys.
Okay, so thanks, Dheeraj, for the introduction. And hi, Nikita. Hi, Jonathan. How are you?
Hey,
I, I,
Just
I, I, I already know Nikita, but yeah, Jonathan, for the first time, glad to see you guys again over here. So I think the topic is really interesting. When you look at over here, like what are the students community, and we all are part of it because ultimately being a student, we came from that journey so far, and that's the reason we are working with community. So I have a couple of questions which I got from the students so far so many times. So before that, I wanted to ask you, like, what do you guys think about being a when you come from this journey so far, what do you think of, what do you feel about the community and being a student, and now you also mentoring the student as well. So yes, Nikita.
Yeah, hi Mehul and hi everyone. Hope all of you are doing well. I see a large number of people joining this event, so thank you so much to all of you who are listening to us today. This is like a topic really close to my heart, given that I started my journey with the student communities itself, and I was managing a student community last year. So given my experience with student communities, what I would say is it really helped me grow. And I've seen a lot of people growing with communities in the past few years. So yeah, there is a lot that students can get out of communities, and I can talk more about it. But let me check with Mehul how much time we have and how long you want me to talk about.
And Nikita, your voice is echoing actually, so yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, yeah, but yes, Jonathan.
Yeah, so just like how Nikita shared, I think very similar journey, very similar paths. Started out as a community enthusiast, part of the community, learned from the community, and then a couple of years later made community a career. But yeah, I think it's overall it's very exciting to see it from both the sides, as I like to say. You see the struggles, like when you are an attendee, you just feel everything magically happens. And then when you actually come as an organizer, you see and you start appreciating all the hard work and the effort that really goes into having one of these events. So yeah.
Actually, even I feel the same way because I still remember when I started, started to contribute the Mozilla Firefox. So I was a Firefox student ambassador, and within a 6 month, I was actually, started mentoring the communities around. And first time I presented on the global stage, where I tell the people that hey, how you can make the add-on in a just a friction of seconds. So that's actually really fun, and I'm really happy that we are on the similar interest where we are doing and sharing this over here. But mostly I'm getting the question that if you want to define how the developers communities in India and their importance, so how are you going to define it? Because students, when you talk about students, so they have a lot of confusion, right, regarding the community, like so how if you want, if anyone asks you, tell me in your language how you can define it. So what's your thought on that? Yes, Nikita.
Yeah, so I would say students are the powerhouse of energy and very enthusiastic about learning new things, and we can see that today in the audience. So that's the best thing working with student communities and being a part of student communities. You never walk alone. You always have people with whom you can make friends and learn new things. So as far as the dev ecosystem in India is related with student communities, I would say that they are very enthusiastic. They are eager to learn new things. So very flexible when it comes to adapting to new technologies and tools. So yeah, it's a vibrant community. There are students who have varied experience and interest, and then you can also see they are just not students who are keen in learning, but they build awesome solutions, projects which solves real world problems. So do not underestimate the power of students, I would say, because they are brilliant. And the most important thing is they are enthusiastic about learning new stuff. So yeah, I really enjoy working with the student community in India.
Right. And the best part is we do not have any pressure, right? No pressure. All we need to do is just learn and do the awesome thing that you would like to do.
True that, yeah.
Yes, Jonathan, what do you think about it?
Yeah, so I think Nikita was spot on. Like just two things probably that I would add from my perspective. I think for me, For me, the communities, and specifically the student developer communities that have been there and that I've interacted with, I see two things that really stand out. One is, as Nikita was just mentioning, a place for them to learn, wherein because for students, the biggest question is like, which technology do I adopt? Because today you'll have someone talking about Python, tomorrow there'll be someone saying, no, you have to do JavaScript, and then within JavaScript, there'll be people talking about React, Vue. So there is that whole confusion, and people keep hopping. Today they start with JavaScript, and tomorrow they are on to something else. So I think one of the major thing that communities really, I think, help students with is becoming a learning platform. And that is, I feel, one of the most important thing, because you could probably open up Coursera or some other Udemy or something and try to learn it by yourself. But that collaboration part, which again Nikita was just pointing out, that kind of gives that zest even more. And I think, like, you can learn faster when you're learning with people versus you just staring at your computer screen and trying to learn a new technology. Yeah. So, and the other thing that I think I really would like to point out is the visibility that you get. Like you just mentioned, right? You were just a volunteer at a Mozilla community, and then within 6 months you are mentoring other people. Now you could have done the same thing just sitting at home and probably writing some blogs, but that really wouldn't get you that visibility that a community can really help you with. So I think, and this go a long way. Like for us, I think all three of us finally ended up with a career itself, which went into communities. But I think as normal developers, even as students aspiring to be developers, this does help in the long run, because you become attractive to your recruiter.
Absolutely. And one of the things that the post story always has, like, the journey that we came for, when we share our story, it actually helped a lot of people as well. And story in the sense that I used to have a habit to mention a couple of things, like if I organize an event, like I used to mention how the event is went, what did how it went, and what went wrong as well. I used to mention those points as well, and what are the next thing that we are going to come up with. Though the most important thing about the community which I found it, if you don't have a clear vision, like what next you are coming up with, whether you talk about any other communities, right? So that will also give students as a clear visibility, because as you see, there are a lot of technology involved. And also I also got some questions that there are a lot of community over here, right? So what are the other communities that we have in India? Like have a Google community, we have a lot of Mozilla community, a lot of other communities. Can you tell us, students, like what are other communities also is there in India that students can be part of it?
Jonathan, do you want to go first?
Yes,
You can
Jonathan.
take.
Oh, okay, cool. So I have been into Google communities for quite some time, and I have a bias towards it because I've seen both the sides of the world. So I can talk more about how the student communities by Google and which of them specifically the audience can be a part of. So for students who don't know what are developer student clubs are a campus-based ambassador program, which is built with a foundation of core team members, which do regular activities around different product areas. So in case you're interested in learning how to develop an application using Kotlin, you can have a team in your college itself. You can make friends with different types of people who are similarly interested in learning Kotlin, come together and learn new technologies. So this is just not limited to Kotlin or mobile application development. It could be cloud platform, it could be machine learning, it could be TensorFlow, so on and so forth. So developer student clubs are the best resource where you can learn different technologies, make friends, work on different project ideas, and also promote these projects. So all the questions that I see in the chat that you want to be a part of communities, your answer is developer student clubs. So what you can do is uh, just search for DSC, that is dsc.community.dev. This is the place where you can find all the developer student clubs campus around you, and then you can be a part of the nearest developer student clubs. The best thing is a lot of events or all of the events are happening online these days, so you can make the most. You don't need to pay fees for being a part of these communities, nor you need a uniform. All you need to do is connect yourself with an internet connection, and yeah, that is the place where you can find ample of resources, content curated by Google, and more such exciting opportunities just for you.
If I want to define in a nutshell, I would say diversity in technology.
Yes, diversity in technology.
Yes, Jonathan.
Yes,
I think
I will take a slightly more unbiased approach because I personally am not running in many communities, but so I think if I really would look at a community that I want to join, in general, I think the first thing that I really would look at would be sorry, would be just trying to understand what is that interest that I really want to pursue. So is it machine learning, is it web development, is it mobile app development? And then probably based on that, I probably would because take for example, if I really want to get into machine learning, I might as well find some communities which are core into that rather than going into a generic community and then just getting everything under the umbrella. Like obviously programs like Google, Microsoft, they do an amazing job wherein you get an insight into everything. But if you really want something very specific, then my suggestion is always find your interest first, and based on your interest you could probably figure out what is it exactly that you want, which are the communities that adhere to your interest, and then probably keep searching for those communities. You will also quickly get connected to like-minded folks, and that itself is is a huge benefit that you can obtain out of being part of such communities.
Yes, absolutely, and yeah, that's what it makes sense because as like the people who are keen to research like machine learning, so it would be there are some communities who are specifically just focusing on the machine learning and the kind of opportunity that actually bringing and help them to shape their career. But do you guys also think that being a student also their professor and staff, how about if they are involved, because there are such programs as well which help them to also, because see, if your professor and staffs are much aware about how the community is thing, so if they are sharing about the community, that it would more make sense, right? What do you think? Yes, Nikita.
Yeah, that's a good question about involvement of faculties in community programs. And I would say that totally depends on faculty's interest in promoting the program. And that could be an add on provided the faculties to take interest in supporting such programs. So good to have a word coming from someone students look up to and hear from regularly. So faculties can be a great source to talk about these programs. But then nevertheless, you can always have friends who can tell you about these programs. You can have relatives, you can have your cousins and family or so on, from where you can hear about these programs and get to know more what happens in the community world.
Yeah, yes, absolutely right. Why I'm saying this, because in 2016 we had some research by and other top institutes. So there we got to find out. Okay, now perfect. So that's what. So that's what got to know that because I traveled personally to see some of the institute and find out that if the professors and the staff is being more aware about it, it would be major impact on the students as well, because ultimately we have a daily interaction with them. If they are saying about these things, so ultimately at the end, oh, we need to study about this, we need to complete the semester exams, we don't have a time for that and stuff like that, right? So if they find something about passion, and if the professor is being passionate, right? So I think that give more about it. What do you think, Jonathan?
Yeah, I think I completely agree. And in fact, if you just see, the scene has completely changed, because back in the day when I was in college, one of the reason which was a huge problem for me trying to attend this community meetups and community activities was I was always concerned with my attendance, and my faculty wouldn't they didn't really care about extracurricular activities so long as your attendance was fine and all of that, right? So, and that is, I think, something which has really changed. And I know the Google DSE program is has really helped this a lot, because I see a lot of faculties itself like promoting this program, which gets that validation from within the college. And it's the college now taking this entire program seriously, versus just me going up to my faculty member and saying, I want to take a day off, please manage my attendance or something, and trying to explain what a community activity is, and why I really need to be part of a hackathon for 2 days or something like that. So that was like talking to a wall. But I think that problem is slowly changing. But yeah, I think overall it really adds a lot of boost to students, especially if the faculty itself is kind of promoting all of these things. And it's also a real-time validation that it helps in the long run, which I really wish was there during my time.
I wish to.
Exactly.
Yes, definitely. Okay. And I completely agree with the Jonathan that okay, yeah, I completely agree with Jonathan about that because I heard this. I think 2 days back we in the Nasik that we started one of the DSC recently started, and he shared about the feedback, like how he get into it and how they start support and something like that. I will definitely share that with you, Nikita. After that, that story will definitely help you, to it's a really fun to actually when I heard it 2 days back. But yes, okay, it's actually related to the pizza, by the way. But yes, it's definitely gonna ask. Okay, so one more question that apart from being the committee like DSC and the committee running and Mozilla as well, so they also have some kind of hackathon and program as well, right? And so what are the other programs that we have, like a GSOC, like a Hacktoberfest, right? What are the other programs where actually student can be part of, and that can also help them to build a career in terms of community? Yes, Nikita.
Yeah, so there are ample of opportunities for students going around. Just like Mehul mentioned, GSOC can be one good opportunity where you can connect with industry folks who have specific expertise and who can train you on those specific areas. So, for those who don't know about GSOC or are listening about this word for the first time, GSOC is a program by Google. Which is related to open source and Google technologies. So there are experts from the industry community who volunteer themselves with some dedicated time to help students learn about new technologies. So yeah, GSOC is one opportunity, but that might be at a preliminary after a preliminary stage where students have little background about coding and stuff like that. But there are ample of programs available and opportunities. Just like in case you're interested specifically to learn about cloud, then there is content curated by Google, which is like 30 days of Google. I'm sure a lot of students who are a part of DSCs are already going through some training around Google Cloud Platform. Google Developer Relations team independently hosts programs like 30 days of Kotlin, where people can learn more about Kotlin. There were events like DevFest, International Women's Day, TFUG Summit. All of these are like DevRel programs by Google where students can come, learn about new technologies, and enhance their skills. Um, so yeah, these are the opportunities on the first stage, but there are more such programs available. What I would say is rather than rushing towards too many things, it's a good way to understand a few topics of interest and then start chasing opportunities in that direction. So for example, you don't want to choose any specific area in programming, like you don't want to become a mobile app developer, or you don't know if you want to become a web developer. Then there are like platforms like Hackerer, TechGeek, Code Chef, where you can simply practice programming based on different problem statements based on your data structure skills. So yeah, these are a few good opportunities in case you want to get into the competitive programming space. Apart from that, there are more programs which are specific to basically where you just don't learn, but these are not actually programs but opportunities where you can learn. For example, you don't have to be a part of any program to learn something. Maybe you just subscribe to few blogs and YouTube videos, and based on your learnings and your your project understanding, you can start creating videos or blogs by yourself, and that's another program for you, created by you yourself, where you can just not talk about what you learned, but you learn a lot of new things when you are learning, or when you are like teaching few good examples. So rather than like going for what are the opportunities, I would say create an opportunity for yourself based on your interest, and just take that path. There's a lot available in this world of internet.
Absolutely. I think, in a nutshell, creating a self opportunity always works, and always, because I know we all see that because it happened with us. Yes, Jonathan. Do you want to add any program that you know?
I don't think there's anything that Nikita has left out. But since you mentioned pizza in the last question, I'll just add one comment. Like, if you're participating in any of these programs, please do not do it for the T-shirts or the pizzas. Or your intentions need to be for learning and getting knowledge. That's all I'll add.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. But so basically, I've seen, in India we have a diverse people, right? So every region has a diverse kind of a thing. So it's more like an attraction that you need to go there. Like when we were in college, for example, for attending a lecture, they said, okay, if those who are attending this session, they will get the extra credits or the points, right? So it's a kind of that cake that you show to them. Ultimately, there are a lot of get benefited, and that was the story which I just told that Nikita, because one of the students, because of that, he attended one of our local meetup, and then he started the DSC club in his college. So
Wow.
I personally thought that makes sense, because I personally believe that, because people should come for that. But ultimately, if that helps to go and get more credibility, and that particular person would help more into that people surrounded by, then obviously, so that's how it works. As I told you, it's a diversity, right? And community works like the way we are working in India. I don't think so that it's similarly working in other parts of world as well. They might have a different strategy for that. They have different policies and so many things, right? So yeah. But yeah, I just found like I'm going to eat the pizza today. I'm very hungry now.
Yes, I'm very hungry now.
Okay. I
But
got
I completely
I got
agree.
yes, Nikita.
Completely agree with what Mehul said. Might be we don't go to meetups with the right attitude in the start. Maybe the intent is something different. So this reminds me of my story. Why I attended my first community meetup was something because I wanted to try something beyond academics. But who knew that this would be a full-time career for me when I stepped into the events that time, basically. And yeah, I was like reading through a lot of stories today, where attendees from different GDG events have shared their experiences. Some of them said that they did not come from tier 1 or tier 2 colleges, but how these communities have helped them to learn about programming, and now how they are building awesome solutions after that. I have heard a woman participant who was not allowed to go for an overnight hackathon, but now she flew to Google Singapore for some of the event. I heard interesting stories around a few folks who were bullied in school but now are experts in different technologies and are confidently presenting themselves at different events. So this is how communities basically help to nourish and nurture your skills, help you grow, and you find the right peers who can give you share their experiences with you, which can motivate you to do a lot more. You can find your squad, your partner in crime, your partner in projects. So there are a lot of opportunities, I would say, once you get associated with any of the communities.
When yeah, when I used to heard about that the other thing event or I going to participate, I was like, अब आएगा मजा. Yes, Jonathan, do you have anything to share?
Sorry.
Yes, you want to add anything because I thought because of seeing your expression, I thought you want to add anything.
No. It's completely true. Completely, I agree.
Okay. Thinking, talking about this, I just got one more question that, people are talking about certification a lot, right? People used to get certification. But do you think, that, by having a certification that really, really, really helps or, what do you think? Like certification actually building the career? Because that's the question I used to get a lot of times because I have some couple of certification, but I tell them why I did because I got sponsored and I working on that. I'm really passionate about, to work on that. That's the reason I opted for that, not because that I wanted to apply for the job and I wanted to settle down because they have that kind of a thinking. What do you guys think about it? Yes, Nikita.
Yeah, I think certifications are great way to validate your skills, but oftentimes they are confused with a way that helps you find job opportunities or helps you crack job interviews. So this is a myth that if you are certified with something, it helps you crack a job interview, or the interviewer gets impressed with you and so on. And what I would say is keep learning regardless of what are the what are the benefits out of that, because you never know what technology helps you at what point of time. So things that I learned 3-4 years back, I never knew that they would help me at this point of my career. So learning is one thing which is immortal, and certificates are not the way that would validate your learning unless you are skilled with the given quality. So good to have certifications, I would say, but at the same time, be mindful about how much you know about that product stack, about that technology. And then always it's a good idea to talk about it in your resumes, your CVs. Say that, hey, I applied for, say, associate Android engineer degree or some cloud certification, and these are the skills that I learned. And if I were to explain that particular skill, I would talk about it end to end thoroughly. I could talk anything that comes on its way when you speak about that particular certification.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, Jonathan.
Yeah, so I think spot on. Like I think right now, like I wouldn't go and say that certification itself are bad, but if your intention is just to get a job, and believe me, like certification will definitely help you get through the screening round. Your HR will be impressed that you have a certification, but the moment it gets to a technical interview, it's just a technical knowledge that will get you that job. So if you intend to use just that certification as your gateway to a job, the chances of that happening are not as much. So which is why I would say certification with the knowledge behind it, that's a deadly combination. That's a combination that will make you unstoppable.
Absolutely. What I think of it, if you have a knowledge of something and then you try to validate by using that credibility, not that you did for doing a certification and you going to learn that doesn't make sense because ultimately that won't help you so far. You're gonna stuck at the particular moment, and if you go in this way, like in the reverse way, that definitely work because ultimately you know the basics of it, and that will crack you anywhere. Yes, I absolutely agree that. That I completely agree that you said key screening round definitely gonna go there because ultimately you're gonna put the logo of any certificate that you put in and that will something that attract and get your attention over there. But yeah, obviously that all depends on the how you answer the real time scenario, what's your experience, how much you are ready to take up the challenge, and how you can solve the problems. So that's what really important. So that's what I used to tell the people as well, and I completely agree with both of you. And yes, so I think it's time for Q&A. Well, let's see the comments. We might be have some more question. Okay, so I'm reading the question. The question from Tanvay Sarve. Sorry if I misspelled anyone names because I come from Gujarati, so my accent will be little different. Okay, so just bear with me for that. Okay, how can a community leader attract more people below the poverty line to get interested in tech and code in the community? Majority of people's family in my college are very near to the poverty line. So yes, over to Nikita. Yes.
Yeah, this is a good question and a unique question, I would say. I never got this question before. So, thank you so much, Tanvesh, for asking this question. So what I would say is communities are diverse and they are inclusive. So which means that people from all backgrounds are welcome to be a part of communities, and also at the same time, your background does not matter. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, because like I said, you don't need a uniform to be a part of communities. You don't need to pay any fees to be a part of communities. Given in this online world, you just need to tune into an event just like this to be a part of communities. You can be a part of some local discussions on WhatsApp, Slack channel, and these are also communities where you can have discussions. So for example, say you're working on a project and you're stuck with something, you having discussions on WhatsApp forum or Slack channels will also help you. And these are also communities, right? So these need not be where you gather in person and talk about different technologies, but it could be in an online world as well. In fact, Stack Overflow, it's another community where developers help each other solve their problems. And there are more such forums where developers come together, like Reddit, and all of these need not need any fees. All you need is an internet connection, and that should solve for everything that you need.
Yes, and I think Geo almost solved all the problems and all other providers as well. So everyone has a good data connectivity these days. So yes, of course. Yes, Jonathan would like to add anything.
Yeah, so just to quickly add to that, I think, yeah, with the whole pandemic situation and the entire world moving online, I think this problem has relatively been solved. But I know of a situation, I think, very similar to what the question mentioned. This was probably from a few years back, wherein there were people who were really interested, passionate, but it was challenges like they couldn't afford the distance, and the journey by bus was very expensive for them to travel, and all of those small issues which kept them back. So I think small initiatives like getting, so usually there are people who are more than happy to sponsor such kind of candidates who really show passion. It's, as a community organizer, you'll probably just have to look at the right place and probably figure out a couple of avenues like this. But yes, I know situations like, even though we are in 2020, I know there are people who are still being left behind. And I think even though everyone is trying their best, there are some situations which even we as organizers cannot avoid. But I think I think with this whole webinars and online streaming, I think that problem is relatively lesser now. But I think a small initiative from a community organizer side, this could be something like just trying to reimburse their travel maybe, or helping them. So one more issue that came up with this whole work from home and study from home situation was a lot of parents weren't having smartphones which were capable of actually using Zoom and things like that. So things like this are places wherein I think a lot of this is a mix. This is a problem which is to be solved both by the community organizers as well as the society at large, people trying to do social good, as it is called. So this is more of a joint venture, I would say, because even though like you mentioned, Geo has pretty much made it simple for everyone to be connected on the internet, but still there are places in India, remote places, wherein there is no real or no proper network connectivity. And we all have already heard stories of people traveling kilometers to find some Wi-Fi or some internet connectivity. So small initiatives like this. So I know one person who would give, and this was back 3 years back, who would just keep his Wi-Fi open. Like all of us, the moment we get a Wi-Fi set up, the first thing we do is put a password and then keep changing it every 6 months. So this guy would just keep his Wi-Fi open so that anyone who ever wanted to browse was open to do it. Now let's not get into the security issue over here, but I'm just talking about the intention that is at heart over here.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you. Yeah, yes, let's move on to the next question. Okay, so we don't have any questions.
There
Awesome.
we don't have any questions.
Awesome. So that
Yes,
means
there's a question,
we
right?
are up to the mark.
That means we are up to
No,
the
no,
mark.
no. There's a question.
There's a question.
A lot of students are asking about the communities, different communities which they can join, which they can be part of. So you can just pronounce those communities. It would be really helpful for students.
Okay, yes, Nikita.
Yeah, so there are a lot of communities by Google itself, like I mentioned earlier. There's developer student clubs, that is DSC program for students specifically. In case you're interested in Flutter, there are Flutter user groups. In case you're interested in TensorFlow and machine learning, and you want to get into algorithm side predictions, building interesting models, then TFUGs are the place where you can learn more about TensorFlow. In case you aspire to learn more about Google Cloud, then Google Developer Cloud communities are the resource where you can meet with folks with similar interests. And yeah, there is GDG, which is like for everyone. Mehul is an organizer for Nasik chapter, so I'll let Mehul also talk about what GDGs do exactly. But yeah, these are like generic communities where you can learn about multiple platforms and tools. So yeah, Mehul, do you want to add about GDGs and what exactly GDGs do?
Um, it's more about the developer community, right? And the motto is to what are the diverse technologies being working, just to share an awareness about it and create a lot of stories that people just go to home and just think about it and just try to dig in something, open it, and at least see for a few minutes for a time. That might be, keeping some kind of interest. So that's the beauty of it. And the reason I started over there, because in Nasik we have very low resources and no one has even heard about it. So that is the reason, I started over there. Though I traveled a lot, but still, as we all know, give it back to the, where you came from. So that's the reason. And I think GDG, has create a lot of, because ultimately that believes in diversity. So plus one to that. So yeah. Yes, Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah, I think between you two, y'all have pretty much covered all. Again, just a honorable mention to also the Microsoft guys. I think they also do a lot of things in that. You have GitHub, which has just come into India, and they are also pretty much excited to work with students, especially the student startup that they have is something
Even
that.
AWS.
Yeah, AWS too, not to forget.
Yes.
Okay.
And thankfully we're part of all these communities. So I think that again, kind of mixture that in. Yes, Dheeraj.
Yeah, so this sums up the whole session. I think students have today learned more about the communities to the depth, that what other communities are there, and the best community persons are with you. They have shared their experience. What except from the pizza is there in the community meets. So with this, I'll say thank you to Jonathan, Mehul, and Nikita for coming here and virtually interacting with. Thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye. Thanks everyone.
Thanks, Dheeraj.
Thanks, Dheeraj.
Bye, Nikita. Bye,
Bye,
Jonathan.
Nikita. Bye,
Thanks,
Jonathan.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
So this is going to be now the last session of the day, which would be taken up by Devjani Chatterjee, who is DevRel at IBM India. So the session is about DevRel code and content. So you have heard a lot of DevRel's professionals in this field. Many of you must be asking that what DevRel is about, not the full form, but what exactly the role is about, what goes into it. So with this, I am asking Devjani to join the session. Welcome, Devjani.
Hi, Dheeraj. Thank you so much.
Welcome. We cannot see your video.
Yeah, I'll come back once we start our questions. Until then, I'll just present and start with it. Is that okay?
Yeah. So I'm sharing the screen to you. Over to you, Devjani. Uh,
Great. Okay. You can see my screen now. Dheeraj, could you confirm if you can see my screen?
yeah, now we can see.
Okay. Great. Hello, everyone. I am Devjani. I work as a developer advocate at IBM. And today we'll be talking about what code and content can do for a position like DevRel. I have been on and off throughout the day visiting the talks here at Dev Colloquium today. And I must say, you guys must have got a really nice introduction and deep dive into communities, into what all is there. But how do we exactly do this, right? This is the question which comes into everybody's mind. And how do you get started? So, as I work in the developer ecosystem group with IBM as a company, which is like a pioneer with inventions and like a vivid history over 110 years. So we work with code, content, and community as the mantra. We speak at various tech conferences and interact with a range of developers and students who are working with IBM's platform, or we are seeking to learn things and understand. So we also try to understand the pain points that the user is experiencing, and we give that out as a feedback to our product management teams to improve the products and user experiences in general. It is like a very exciting and varied job. So, from public speaking, engagement at conferences and meetups, to developing demos and tools, to writing blogs, articles, to creating audiovisual artifacts like there will be several videos that I create throughout my job, which will be, adding some benefit to the kind of talk that I'm particularly trying to give. And I meet, users, customers, partners, and also a lot of the student communities here in India. So used to rather spend almost one third of my like three fourth of my time on the road visiting places. But right now, with that, with COVID, things have all become online, and we have been engaging with a lot of students since March. So, a part of my job is to get the word about the tech out there and to communicate good practices about that. The other part, which sets advocacy apart from evangelism, is to close the loop, is to collecting feedback, documenting how folks are using the technology, and noting suggestions and complaints. And so these feedbacks are the ones that we collect and give to the engineering and product management. So they improve the technology and the roadmap. And as a developer advocate, you don't sell stuff. Mostly, I don't even know what the pricing model is for us. And you're not a marketing guy, so you don't have to get information about what your KPIs are, what are those marketing metrics are. We have marketing teams doing that. So we are like a juxtaposition of those both the marketing and the tech community, and there is where we basically come in. So the role is like a mix and match between product engineering and marketing, is what you can say, if you mean. So a developer advocate has to have skills as a software developer, and the focus in this role is on writing code, developing examples, training material, explanatory demos, software development kits and tools to make it, make it easier for people to use IBM's platforms. So I basically work on the IBM cloud platform, and me and my team, we focus on the cloud components in IBM. I'm also looking towards working more on container technology, and so I conduct meetups and all of that. I'll get to it in a bit later. So, this involves all of the usual development activities like, architecture, design, implementation, testing, and debugging. You have to know all of that, and you have to basically, in a DevRel position, represent software developers. So, you have to let them know, you have to let the developers know why the IBM cloud platform and its ecosystem is like a good place to invest their time and effort, and how I can make it easy for developers to do that. It's like, so this job role, if I say, is like more of a passionate, right, from a person's perspective. You have to be a vocal champion to, for developers interests, to voice those opinions out to IBM. So we not only have to convince the developers why IBM is good, but we also have to come back and focus, voice our opinions to IBM and tell them that why this particular thing is not good for developers and why should they change it. So we have to influence both the communities within and outside, so that the offerings, whatever is, coming from the engineering life cycle, can also be worked back to the loop with the features and the user experiences. We usually, foster a community of developers who are working with the offerings, and we help to, drive the strategy that IBM wants to take. You must be aware that IBM has acquired a company known as Red Hat, and Red Hat is uh, like the place for open source, and the company that represents what open source is, what Linux is. So we are taking this direction from IBM's perspective, where we can move on to that, adapt all those things, and move our cloud to that particular specifics. So we will, host community events, meetups through user groups and through hackathons, engage with the community beyond the events also, not just during the event. It's like a 24/7 job if you like it. And there will be like various other ways to reach out to developers and keep them up to date with what's going on in the IBM's platforms. So this will include writing blog posts, comments, tweets here and there, and other social media updates to relevant outlets like, GitHub, Twitter, LinkedIn, and we have to subscribe to the right issue trackers, forums, and Q&A sites like Stack Overflow and all of that. So where did I begin? This was way back in 2012. I was doing my engineering in electronics and communications from college in Dehradun, which you guys must not have heard of a lot. And I came across Mozilla's contribution program, where, you can, what you can do is, you can contribute towards a lot of things like testing Mozilla's features, writing some parts and pieces of code, doing some translations. And while I did all of those things, I also took up to spread Mozilla's open source work and word through developer advocacy. What we did is we got into touch with uh, is was also is as a matter of fact was also something on the similar lines. So while I did that, I single-handedly, with a friend of mine, built out the Uttarakhand's uh, Mozilla community right from the scratch. And today here I am at IBM, and this is the last picture that I had while things were still on. This is the last meetup we got to do. I think this was in February, end of February, and but things did not, I did not get into developer advocacy because a job role like developer advocacy did not exist like that in the terms per se at IBM right at that. It was back in 2017, 18, I guess, more of the teams that got formed. So if you see today, developer advocacy jobs are very open, very on the front, and if you try to look for a role like that, you'll be able to go and search for developer advocacy or DevRel or technology evangelists and tons of names like there. So since I could, get a small understanding of what things are over there, I really wanted to explore that, and I got in touch with a few good mentors throughout my life in the past few years that I have been working. And I joined IBM and I got to know that this team exists. And I eventually was able to move into the DevRel position where I get to do all of these things together. So this for me has been a journey where I have crafted the role sort of for me and not jumped into from a job description from day one of right after my college. So at IBM India, the developer relations team is currently a 23% strong team, and we are at this size generalist by preference and by necessity. So everyone writes docs, everyone builds stuff, sample codes, and everyone gathers feedback, shares those information to the product teams. Everyone works on events, and we also come from different backgrounds, right? Like I said, I am an electronics engineer by degree. So people on our teams have joined us from core engineering teams, from developer support, from non-engineering operations role, and some have been, doing DevRel. The ones who have passed out in 2018 or 19, they have started their careers as DevRel. So, but from the time we have joined as a team, we have a single path towards which we move. But even for us, this path is imprecise. This is like designed to be a set of guidelines rather than a series of job descriptions because it varies. Not everyone's role is like, very neatly outlined by the content of this path. And a good career path, is generally enough that it will not be boxing you, so that you don't have to have predefined activities. And but it's again also specific enough so that you are being held to a clear point of standard performance, which shows where you can grow and what you can do. With that being said, I will also tell you what a day in IBM looks like for me. You always have to learn new skills. That is the only truth that prevails here. You cannot be stagnant. Today, the team is probably working on something. You have to learn this. Tomorrow, there is a client requirement that they want to, learn something else, and there is where you have to pitch in and learn that skill, take that skill up, and start talking about it. So the main points or the tenets that you have to, be good at, or you have to understand, are these few that I'm going to be speaking about next. Is programming. You have to be good at that. You have to understand code. You have to be able to read code. You don't have to be a whiteboard coder. However, you have to know, how can you take bits and pieces of code, and how can you understand the docs, and you can write one particular code to make an application run. Or you have to, start reading the docs that are there on the tutorials. You'll have to take from them, and you have to start building your own stuff. The next that you have to be really good at is writing. That surpasses anything else. because putting the word out, getting your audiences glued to something, some piece of information is only done through writing. That cannot just be, blogging. That shouldn't have to be like, 500 word long essays. No, it doesn't have to be that. You can also have short and crisp tweets. You can also have LinkedIn posts, and that's how you can, get started with it. And a major part of developer advocacy, or I think almost 50% of your developer advocacy jobs would be to speak. That is handling communities while you speak, handling people, and or not only that, but also um, you know speaking about what you are doing, what is taking the word out about the technology that you're working on, and giving that out to the people. You'll have to be good at speaking. That being said, it's not like introverts don't come into this field. Introverts are as good public speakers. All we need is just a little bit of honing. It doesn't start like, everybody has a piece of stage fear in them. It doesn't start with one single day you go up on this stage and you start speaking about stuff. Nope, it does not work like that. Everyone, even a person who loves to speak and can speak endlessly for hours, requires a lot of training before she's able to, speak on the stage or in front of people. The only thing that you need there would be enough knowledge to know what you're going to be speaking about, and that will keep you going always. So, if you ask me what a day in the life of a developer advocate looks like, right? So it might start with running, program managing hackathons. So IBM runs this particular hackathon known as Call for Code. I'm going to be talking about that in detail in some time. So Call for Code is one kind of a hackathon that is run from IBM's side, but there are several other hackathons that are run in association with IBM, in association with Microsoft. You must be seeing they'll be up on different, Hacker Earth or Hacker Rank, or lots of other platforms that are there. So developer advocates are the ones from these companies who are, going to be running those engagements, because with these engagements, uh, will the company's, software be able to have more adaptation among the users? Because with things are not like it used to be in the past. In the past, it used to be a top-down model where you convince your manager, you convince your director, and they are the ones who decide what software to take. Things are now bottom-up. We start early to talk to developers right at while they are at colleges being students. Once they have an idea about how to do what to do with a particular company's products, they are more versed or more equipped and empowered to take a decision at the next stage. So, along with organizing hackathon, we also, push a particular technology. Maybe if you say, uh, if you're talking about cloud, there are various components in cloud that a particular devrel guy or a developer advocate candidate can take in and talk about that, and talk about that in the community. That can also, parallelly serve as the path that you would want to take in your career. Like if I'm talking about myself, I am managing OpenShift or Kubernetes communities and discussions around that in my day-to-day job. Why I'm doing this? Because I have an interest towards that, and in future, 5 years down the lane, if I'm looking at that, I want to be able to learn more and contribute more at that. So I've already told about writing blog posts and creating presentations and samples and technical content and submitting that at various places. So other than that, what we do is We have to, speak at conferences and in dev communities. We have to, write about there is one thing I'd like to stress over here. Whenever I am speaking, the one thing that I have to take into consideration is that who I am speaking to or who my audience is. If I am speaking to a student as a developer advocate, I'll not be able to use those jargons or those terms which a director is able to understand, or it's not even necessary. So you'll always have to understand the kind of writing or the kind of speaking that you have to do for what kind of audience that you have in front of you. uh, so since we are, in the position where we are mix and match of uh, different teams like engineering and marketing, we also give our feedback to as a consultation to IBM India's marketing team, and help them widen the presence in the social media channels and interact with those posts, and be the voice over there. uh, Other than this, I also, drive developer program initiative within the organization, local dev communities and universities. What I do within the organization is that I support different teams like the university relations team or the career education team, and that helps to, drive the adoption of developer curriculum with specialized courses, like you have these things like BTech with specialization in cloud, BTech with specialization in AI. So we help develop those courses and give mentorship to students to those things. And we also, at the end of the day, work with our worldwide teams to help and build an evangelism focused organization to drive business and bridge other business units with IBM cloud. So IBM as an organization is extremely large, right? We'll have different components to it. There will be some people who are working on the back end. There will be some people who are developing some kind of application, but they are all going to be able to connect to cloud. So that is where we help. uh, but all of those things, how do we get to do those things? This is one of the things that I have covered once already, is continuous learning. You can't stop anywhere. You'll have to be always on the go, always learning things. You'll have to think outside the box. Maybe this is, you have to take risks. You can't be in a position where be following the pathway that is defined for you. You have to build stuffs, and you have to share your knowledge with the crowd. If you categorize these things, these are the specific particular skill sets that are necessary in order, to get that understanding of what you should do. You should be good with public speaking. You should have your communication really, really sorted. You have to be an empath. You have to be an empath. You have to have a good technical knowledge. You have to have a good understanding of what you're learning, what you're speaking about. Quick learning is one thing I have been speaking about over and over again. And you have to be very approachable. For a developer advocate, when there are people who are coming to you, like a student comes to developer advocates to understand how to start learning the basics of cloud. And also at a conference where I am representing as for a business, there will be people who will be from startups trying to understand if they can adopt your technology and how you can help them. So you should be approachable. You should not be judgmental about what kind of background they are from, be it a student, be it a director of a particular company. And you have to do all of that with this one particular mantra, that is community first. Whatever you do, you have to be focusing on the community, because community is the one that drives developer relations. And because as the name suggests, right, DevRel, it's the relation that we guys have with the communities, with the people who are with us, that make DevRel what DevRel is, or what makes IBM's product successful, or any other particular company per se. Um, this is me with at one of the conferences in MS Ramaiah in Bangalore year, or yep, last year or beginning of this year, for example. So why I am putting this picture out there is because most of us, whenever we reach out to people in these companies, right, when we were students, we used to be like, "Sir, ma'am, can you help me? Can you do that? Can you..." Just get one thing clear: you don't ever have to call anyone sir or ma'am in a company, whoever is there, because they are all approachable, and we are always on a first name basis, right? So with that community in mind, how do we always do this, right? We are not like, we can't be like, online 24/7, right? So what I do is I manage developer communities on Slack. The IBM community is on Slack. There are multiple students, there are professionals, and so Slack works as the place where you can ask away your doubts. There are all kinds of people here who work on cloud, who work on other technologies, and they'll be able to help you there. You can join Slack. And there are some other places like meetup groups. Meetup groups is one more thing that I manage, where uh, you can interact with community members, and you can post out your content, uh, and what kind of content are those, right? So I'm coming back to the content thing, but you must remember one thing whenever you are working on the content part of your stuff in DevRel jobs, is that you, as a developer advocate, is not expected to share features of what a particular product is. However, what you are required to share with the community is, how can a user, if I am a user, how can I use the product? What is the easiest and the best way to explain to a noob to understand how things work? If I am a person who does not know anything about programming in C, or programming whatsoever, and I have to start today, you can't just be able to, you won't be starting things with arrays, right? You will always come back and say print hello world. So that's what is necessary. I will not be talking about what are the features, what are the things that IBM Cloud gives. However, I'll tell you what is the best way or fastest way, easiest way for you to understand how to start building an application and start showcasing your things. So, if you speak about content, where is the content that you can get yourself noticed, right? You can answer questions on forums. Stack Overflow is one of the most amazing forums there, where you will find enormous amount of knowledge and knowledgeable people, where you can not only answer questions that you know, but also you'll be able to mostly learn things there. So another way of putting content out there, so blogging and question answering and tweeting, or making social media posts have been quite common, right? But how do you get your word out there? So streams are one of the things that have become more popular lately. So that is, it can be on YouTube. What I run mine with IBM Developer India's channel is on Twitch. I handle this channel, and I bring in a lot of people from IBM or from the community who come and speak and share the knowledge that they are working on. Again, content does not have to be just written. Content can also be video. But then again, how does IBM do most of these things, right? So, like I was saying, in developer advocacy's policies, uh, one of the things that we drive is call for code. So, call for code is like a multi-year hackathon. It's been going on from 2018. It's like a 5-year global challenge in association with United Nations and a lot of other organizations. And this year we just ended the 2020 call for code, and this is one of the champions that were there. Uh, so we I got the opportunity to work with more than 26,000 students through these hackathons, more than 30,000 as a matter of fact. And in several hackathons, I got to interact with them, mentor them. If I am not being able to answer something, getting someone else who is more experienced, who knows something better, and getting students you know uh, associated with them. So this is one more important factor that you need to consider if you're trying to take this developer relations job, is that there will be moments, there will be an n number of moments where you are on a video call, where you are on a Q&A session, where you are on a stage and someone asks a question to you and you're not aware of that. What do? You don't shy away. It happens, right? You are not a genie. You don't always know the answer to every question. So what you do right there is you stop, take a pause, and you tell the crowd that you are not aware of that you will come back to it. There is one more place that you can take a look, which is a great resource for content. And internally, I always stress upon this factor that not only externally I push this about this website, but also internally we all use IBM developers. Content platform that gives out tutorials and various other things, code patterns on any technology that you can ask for. The website is developer.ibm.com. So if like artificial intelligence, you just had one of the sessions on AI sometime back, right? So if you take a look at this, you will have a lot of courses, models, code patterns, podcasts, and open projects where you can contribute. And among all of that, code patterns is something that is very much at my heart. So code patterns are like demo solutions that can help you get started with a particular program or a particular set of a solution right away today. If you click on any one of these tiles, you'll be able to go and actually build this framework that will connect WhatsApp to Watson services right away. And there are a number of code patterns on any technology that will get you to do these things right away. That is like a portfolio, that is like a product that you can build, that you can showcase. And I'll come back to that portfolio stuff later. Next is cognitiveclass.ai. This is another thing that is content that comes from IBM's side, and you can earn badges from here. There are learning paths that you can have. You can learn different things, and what we do at IBM as developer advocates, and we also help sharpen these courses, or put our feedback onto these courses, because we also learn from these. I might know Python, right? But I might not know data science that uses Python, right? So I'll be learning that, and I'll be using my other skill that I have to hone the things that I know. So you can also earn a lot of badges through cognitive class.ai, and this can serve as your portfolio that you can build. You can also put these out on LinkedIn. um, so one of the things while I was talking to you about some time back is that we do hackathons, right? Developer advocates. So currently I am doing this hackathon with Times of India and GitHub, where I live in West Bengal, but that is my native place, and I work at Bangalore. what happens every elections is that I am not able to come back home every time in order to give my votes, right? Um, so I'm a migrant worker. So like me, there are several millions of migrant workers who are unable to vote. So this with this initiative that is like really close to my heart, I am trying to work with the Times of India and the Election Commission to find a solution, to find technology with the help of you as students, and to understand how you can use technology to figure out the lost votes. So, with this, I come to almost the end of my session. And how will you understand that you are a fit for this role or developer advocacy per se, right? And how can you land a developer relations job? Well, I have been speaking about portfolios, right? This I just saw this tweet sometime back, and I have like really taken to my heart. Like doing the job before you get the job is a great way to get the job. This is nothing but just creating a portfolio of your work and putting it out there. You want to be a Python developer? Search for things, learn 30 days of code, search for things and create a portfolio, create a Medium blog. And whenever you are trying to apply for a job, go ahead and give it out there. You want to be in DevRel, seek out people like us who are in communities and tell them, hi, I'd like to have a 15-minute session, speaking session in one of your communities. And trust me, we are happy to have you hosted, because it is our end goal at the end of the day is for you as a user to use our product, and we'll be happy to have you as a speaker to come and speak about how you're using our product. This is a win-win situation for you who want to be a developer relation guy, and I who am already a devrel guy. My work here is done, and what you get out of this is you'll be able to create a video of that interaction, have a recording of the particular session, and add that to your portfolio and send it out to your whoever is trying to hire you, right? That will already set the stage and give you that edge from the other hundreds of computer science graduates or any other engineering graduate per se who is trying to become a devrel guy. Now, what does developer advocate job description look like? So these are the few things you have to be aware of in order to get things done. You have to know a little bit about software development, design, a little bit about leadership, because you have to handle things on your own. You will be empowered to lead stuffs for your own good. You have to have a little bit of domain depth, and the experience is, of course, you're a graduate hire, so your experience again will be that portfolio that I have been talking about. So with that, folks, I'm open for questions, and you can find me on Twitter. I'll just stop sharing my screen for a second. Yep.
Yeah, Jenny, that was a very wonderful session. So now there's a question from Pavni. She says, I'm passionate about public speaking and I'm currently learning Python and will be doing specialization in data science. To be a developer advocate, uh, just a second. To
Yeah,
be a
I
developer
can.
advocate, do I need to be expert in coding?
Yeah, yeah, I'm seeing the questions as well, Dheeraj. Thank you so much for reading this out. Okay. Uh, See, like I said, you don't have to be an expert in coding. However, knowing a lot of coding or little bit of coding helps you, because at the end of the day, if you are a data science specialized guy, you are the one who wants to speak about data science, and there is a question in front of you. There is a person in front of you who asks you an in-depth question. About Python, about something that is related to data science, and you are not aware of it. It's you who is going to feel bad, and it's you who is going to be able to go home at the end of the day and try to seek the answers. You might want to start at nothing today. You might want to start at no coding expert level, but as and when you grow in your career, you will need coding, you will need programming. Other than that, you'll not be able to survive. It's okay to not know these things at year one. However, when you are at the going from the first year to second, third, fourth, fifth, and more onwards, you will have to know these things. You can't get by without this.
Okay. So I think your session covered it everything detail by detail. Actually, students are looking more for the resources, links for the
Okay.
resources you have shown in the presentation. It would be really helpful if you share on the private chat. Our team will share it with the students. It would help them to be a
Sure.
part of those communities, those forums, and explore it all.
Sure, I'll just send out the links to Dheeraj and team to be able to share these things.
Yeah. So, guys, any other question? Okay. I think this is it. All the questions, if there are any questions which come to us post the summit, post this session, we'll bring those questions to you. We might be eating out more time, a bit more time from you. So
Sure,
with this,
sure.
I want to thank you for coming here and speaking a lot, which is really helpful for the students to know about what IBM has to offer, what courses, what certification forums, communities they can be a part of, right? So thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Dheeraj. Folks, hit me up on Twitter or LinkedIn. I'm happy to, answer your questions there. Thank you so much. It was very nice talking to
Bye,
you
Vinay.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So with this, day one has been concluded. Yes, there are many questions. You can drop those questions in the community, in the Telegram community. We'll definitely try to answer those. That was a long 4 hour you all said. Thank you so much. So tomorrow, day two will begin on at 4 p.m. The day one was all about communities, the placement and coding, DevRel, right? So tomorrow is going to be very excited. The recruiters would be speaking what they are expecting from the students in the post-COVID era, some unconventional experiences, a lot about the emerging technologies, right? So guys, if you have any questions, you can be a part of the Telegram community of Merge Intern, can ask there, right? We'll get all those links and resources shared with you post the summit. So with this, I think the day one has been concluded. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Good.